want this upright. That's so annoying. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Let me get myself adjusted. Whew. 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 Okay, where's my pen? Hello, hello to anyone watching on the replay. It's me, LB. Welcome in, welcome back. I have a delicious peppermint latte. We have 2 oracle decks. We have the Shaman's Dream Oracle. We also have the green, which is Oracle. And I wanted to come on and do an all signs reading just for the week, a little 3-card spread plus 2 oracle cards because I'm feeling frisky. I want to do a do, avoid, and consider spread. This is something that I like to pop out when I'm looking for a little bit of direction without being overwhelmed by possibilities. Sometimes navigating your way through the day, through the week, through the month, through the season, naturally, spiritually, sometimes it is a matter of subtraction, not addition. And something that had come through on the Patreon reading, I do a week ahead 40-minute reading on my Patreon every single Monday. I also put up a 16-minute meditation, energy clearing, and all of your monthly readings for January are out. So if your mini reading today resonates, you might want to check out your full reading on Patreon. And something that had come through this morning was the idea of really like attacking energies like head on. And so I figured a nice way to meet that energy was to do some mini spreads for my lovely YouTube family. I haven't been on here for a while. I haven't seen you guys for a while. So I wanted to come on and do just that. So as I said, we have the Green Witch's Oracle, the Shaman's Dream Oracle. I also have one of these older TMD style deck. Very exciting. I just cleaned my office too ahead of the new moon and I changed the furniture around. I did feng shui. It's a good time. It's a really, really good time. What else did I put on the Patreon this week? Oh, I've been doing these weekly bundles as well where I'm dropping like tarot tips, tarot spreads, like witch tips for the week. We're having a lot of fun over there. At least I'm having a lot of fun. Everyone else seems like they're having fun too. Hi, Eric. How are you? So I think we'll start with Aries as always. Make myself a little list. Hi, Capricorn with Sagittarius. Oh, a Sagittarius rising. That's so nice. Do you find that you have like it sounds funny, but do you find that you have like a very round face? I find that people that have like heavy Jupiter in their chart look similar to people that have a lot of lunar energy in their chart. So it's like they're very kind of circular. They have kind of these big, beautiful eyes. I bet you do. I bet you do. Yo, there go. My beautiful Libras. My spicy Scorpios. My little Saggy Waggies. My little Capricorns, my Aqua babies, and of course, last but never least, the Pisces like me. Hello, everyone. Life path number is 11. Oh, I love it. That's a master number. You're a fire tiger? That's nice. I have enough fire in my chart. Hello, hello. Oh my God, yes, egg-shaped head. My goodness, I haven't been live on YouTube in such a long time. Normally, I am on TikTok, I'm on other platforms. I forget how trolly it can be here on YouTube. Someone left me a comment recently while we're shuffling up, and they said, oh my God, it's so nice to see you doing readings again, Lauren. And I said, girl, I have been doing readings this entire time on TikTok, on Patreon. daily readings, weekly readings, monthly readings. Not a day's gone by. But typically on like TikTok and other spaces, and I do so much like kind of behind closed doors, that like the community is like very tight knit. So you actually don't deal with like a lot of trolls, like period, or antagonists, or even like the proselytizing Christians who come in and they're like, you're talking to demons, give your life to Christ. Like you don't really deal with that so much on TikTok. Like everyone is kind of like in their own little classrooms, like their own little quadrants. So we don't really like bump heads as much. So it's like, I've been live for all of 6 minutes and I'm like, I've already had to delete 2 trolls out of here, which is crazy. Like go back to the bridge you crawled out from underneath. Hi, hello. Welcome in guys. We are going to be doing an all signs reading, all the zodiac signs. We're gonna do a do, avoid, and consider spread. It's a simple 3-card spread, but it's really helpful when you want a little bit of direction without being overwhelmed or feeling like you're being kind of like bossed around. I also posted a channeled message just before this. It's a little bit of like conspiracy theory, political tarot, but I got these weird dreams and downloads about some of the like funky ritual magic that goes on in the government, and I was like, I have to share this with someone out there is picking up on this energy too. Do a little smoke cleansing. Hi John, hi Healing Hands, welcome in. Never believed in any of this, but I never had a reading either. That's all right. The important thing to remember, at least for me, is I'm not here to convince or convert anyone of anything. And the fun thing about mysticism, the fun thing about tarot, it's that you use it the way that you need it. Tarot does not have to be spiritual at all if you don't want it to be. These can be personal picture prompts that you use to explore your own psyche, to inspire your own creativity. You can use them for spiritual practice. You can use them for divination. You can also use them as just prompts for writing, for journaling. Tarot is so big and beautiful and wonderful that it can meet you wherever you're at. It can be used however you like to use it. And I'm never here, never my job to convince or to convert anyone or anything. I'm just here to hang out and to hold the space and channel through whatever comes through. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it's all right. But we are happy to have you here regardless, if only just to hang out. Oh, that incense smells so good, so good. So and this will be up on the replay for anyone. We are gonna start with Aries. We're gonna pull a card from the Shaman's Dream Oracle and the Green Witch's Oracle, just to see, this is just this week, the week of January 11th to the week of January 18th. We have a new moon this Sunday, so if you like to do your moon water, if you like to do lunar rituals, if you have special prayers, if you have anything kind of like witchy, woo-woo, spiritual that you like to do around the full or new moons, this Sunday we have a new moon, a nice little dark moon. New moons are a really good time to set new prayers in motion, new intentions. I personally like to do them the day after the new moon, right when the light is coming back. That's how I like to do them, but you do you. Hi. Cosmic Womb, the Divine Feminine, Aries. I like this for you. We also have number 6, which is a very Venusian number. So there's something talking about new moons and seeding. There's something new that's kind of being seeded within you this week. It doesn't have to be, of course, a literal child. This can be a new idea. And because it has this cosmic energy, it feels like it's something divinely inspired. So I wouldn't be surprised if you came upon some divine inspiration, the right idea at the right time, or even what's coming through is a seed or a spark of friendship. So there might be someone coming into your reality this week that inspires a bit of good fortune or inspires a new collaboration. It's small, it's budding, it needs protection, but you can feel, and maybe your body is responding to in some kind of way, similar to how when people are pregnant, that there's something new that is being birthed out of you. And to really lean into that and to do what you need to do to support the birthing of a new idea, of a new dream. For a lot of you, it feels like it's coming after a period of time where you felt maybe a little dreamless or hopeless. Positivity, a sense of hopefulness, it is returning to you. We also have gorgeous Aries. We have spring, rebuilding, awakening, rebirth is coming through for you. And here we have these robin's eggs. You might even meet someone named Robin, see someone named Robin, or actual robin birds. I know, depending on where you are here in North America, and especially on the East Coast, it's cold, it's winter, but I came across a big patch of robins, I think last weekend, and I said, whoa, what are you doing here? You're spring birds. So you might be seeing more spring birds this week to confirm this as your message. And what I like is that all of these eggs, some are cracked, sure, but some of them are fully whole, but they're within the nest, right? The womb, a cave, a bird's nest, they all represent like a chrysalis, like a butterfly, these spaces of gestation, Aries. It's about creating the container for the new life to mature and expand and develop. So whatever, I want to say accommodations is the right word. Whatever accommodations you need this week to help support the good, the better, the next, please gift that to yourself because you need it and because you deserve it. Hi, hello, welcome in. So we're gonna do your mini spread. We're gonna do your do, avoid, and consider. What should Aries do this week? What should Aries avoid this week? Oh, you got 2 for that. And what should Aries consider this week? Oh, okay. So what to do? You have the 7 of Swords. This is a good week to stay on top of the advances that you've already made. The 7 of Swords can sometimes talk about deception. Yes, it can talk about battles, defeat, all of like those really yucky energies, but it entirely depends on how the card is depicted. Oftentimes the 7 of Swords is depicted as this guy running out of an enemy camp with all of these swords, right? Though I always consider, why would you leave your enemies with a bunch of weapons to attack you with, right? Sometimes it's important to consider where we leave ourselves vulnerable. Right? So if that is too much of your time or attention, is maybe on social media or on petty grievances or on gossip or on like stuff like that, that's draining your attention, draining your vitality, and making it easier for people or for energies to come in and poke at you, that is a liability for you, right? So it feels like you're encouraged this week to figure out like where your blind spots are, where your weak points are. So that way, whatever advantages or progress or momentum you've already maintained, you have the ability to keep it, to add to it, to keep pushing it forward and not allow the wind to be taken out of those sails because of a weak point or a blind spot. Yes? Now, what are we avoiding? Oh, we have the Empress and we have the Ace of Cups. So this is interesting. One, especially with the cosmic womb there, Aries, if you are not looking to reproduce this week, that might be something that you want to avoid, or you want to be careful, or you want to protect yourself around. If you're not trying to be a mama or papa this week, you might want to just be mindful, because the Empress is absolutely a sign of fertility, and the Ace of Cups is symbolic of the womb. Yes. What else wants to come through here? I feel like this week you, again, are encouraged with the womb and the spring here to be the container and not the contained. The Empress, as a symbol of fertility, she serves as a vessel, right, for new life. A cup also serves as a vessel as well. So I also want to say, like, it's important to be mindful of what energies, what ideas, what life is like being channeled through you, and to be like a really intentional co-creator about that. Also, The Empress can indicate like a mother figure as well. So there might be a specific mother figure, or even specifically maybe like a pregnant person that like you want to avoid. Maybe again, there's some beef there. Maybe there's some issues socially or in your family. There seems to be like a feminine energy here. That has some kind of emotional connection to you, or at least an emotional influence, because the Empress is an authority figure, right? So there might be an authority figure, specifically a feminine, that has some kind of emotional influence on you that is best to be avoided in some way. Maybe it's just this week, maybe tensions are tight, something like that. Also, with this Ace of Cups, often in like medieval art, the chalice, the Ace of Cups, is something that was held by the clergy. So I also wonder if this resonates for you, Aries, if the particular feminine might be like religious in nature and she is to be avoided. Some maybe older feminine figure who is particularly religious that has an emotional impact on you, she is to be avoided. Because what you be considering this week, you have the King of Cups. I really like that for you. There's a feeling here of whatever you think maybe you need from some authority figure that you really don't align with. It feels like it's worth considering that you have the ability to bring it in for yourself. I'm wondering if this idea of new birth and like you are being gifted some kind of divine inspiration or a new idea. The King of Cups also talks about like creative mastery. It's to help you get underneath or like get out of being underneath someone's foot or someone's power or someone's control. There's sort of like a purse strings type of energy here, that like you have the skills, you have the talent, you have the spiritual backing to like do for yourself, to take yourself seriously and to exert your own authority. And again, as the masculine counterpart of this suit, he provides the container. So it feels like spiritual boundaries, being aware of your blind spots and like where people can kind of poke at you and have you like emotionally draining energy and distracting you from these other forms of life and inspiration that want to come through for you. These are things for you to keep in mind, Aries. And of course, if that resonates, if you'd like to hear more, your full monthly reading is available on the Patreon. I'm doing 2 monthly readings for you this month, the first half and the second half of the month. So we just did the first half, and then probably next week, we're gonna do your second half of January readings. But now we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to Taurus. Let's see, Taurus, Oracle 1. Ooh, the Dust Devil. Card number 15. That also breaks down to another 6. Moving out of stagnation. What I like here is this little this little yellow bauble light coming right from the heart chakra, which is really interesting because yellow is often a color that we relate to the solar plexus. So Dust Devil, moving out of stagnation. There's almost like a agita, like an acid reflux, like like phlegm, like there's something like like coughing up a hairball type of energy that I feel here. It's like there's something that I want to say Taurus has been stuck in the solar plexus, and it's kind of being like pushed out and up. So it's hitting the heart space first. So I want to say where emotions have felt dry and kind of stagnant, there is a sense of nostalgia, there's a sense of sensitivity, even memories like coming back around to you, because this energy is moving through the heart space. And what I actually like in the way of whatever blockage was in the solar releasing itself by moving up the energy channel as opposed to down is that it feels like it's taking the rest of the blockages with it. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were some, again, like places where your heart's been hardened, for that to break up and to release, and like the heart chakra to kind of go back to being green, and then that energy to move up through the throat, and then blockages around expressing your truth, feeling safe and secure, confrontation, right? Speaking up, talking back sometimes, and then having it move its way either out, because I don't see it reaching like the third eye and the crown. It kind of just feels like right here has been blocked up for you. And again, there's like a hacking of like a hairball like up. You may even find like, I don't know, like extra hair coming out this week, or like feeling like you want to brush your hair more, feeling like you want to attend to your hair more. There's something kind of interesting and significant about that. But I like that there is this clearing out, because I'm seeing someone with little water pails come back in. So, and areas that, again, have felt dry and desolate, they're about to be rehydrated, like restored for you over the next few weeks and months. But I would be remiss to not mention that the desert, even the jungle, archetypally speaking, Taurus, these are places of spiritual initiation and journeying. So it feels like you actually are kind of crossing a finish line. Maybe you feel a little worse for wear, and you're kind of like, like when you pull someone out of the water and they got to hack up all that seawater, right? That's a little bit where you're at right here. But I do feel like you've made it out of that's so oh, there are little footsteps, that you have made it out and through an initiation, and like you're just kind of healing up and coming up the other side. Right here, it almost feels like there's like little invisible footsteps. So I like that for you as well. Hello, hello, welcome in. Let's see, from the Green Witches Oracle. Coming in for Taurus. Birds, divine messengers. Freedom and opportunity. Yeah, whatever chains that were binding you, Taurus, they have and are being released. But I feels like I want to like roll my wrists and my ankles, and like I want to do this. So again, there's like a little bit of a healing you up type of energy now that you've gotten out of like this really difficult cycle. Also pay attention, but I do feel like you're gonna be feeling better. They're showing me 4. So in the next 4 days and in the next 4 weeks, you're gonna start noticing, I want to say like rapid improvements in how like you're feeling and your energy levels and your optimism and all of that. They're also saying there's something about like teeth and like dental health. I don't know if that's like an area of neglect for you, but it feels like that is an area that is being like restored or healed for you, Taurus, because there's something sacred about your mouth, about your speech, right? Especially that energy coming back up and out through the throat chakra. You probably carry like the power of life and death in the tongue, like really quite literally and quite strongly. You also might have like a bit of a prophetic anointing on your voice as well. So there's something about like areas that are attacked are often the same areas that have previously been blessed by the divine. So it feels like that is an area that's going to be healed and restored for you, because it has like its own anointing on it. Almost like how singers get their vocal cords insured, or athletes insure their feet, or something like that in there, which I think is so interesting. And also pay attention to the birds that are coming to you this week. They are divine messengers, and they all come from their own cultures, their own environments. They have different ways that they mate, that they nest, that they build, that they breed, and they all have their own sacred symbolism as well. So pay attention if you're seeing a nuthatch, or if you're seeing a lot of vultures, or if you're seeing eagles, or if you're seeing bluebirds, or if you're seeing whatever you're seeing. Pay attention, because there is significance to it. And then we're going to go in and see what you should do, avoid, and consider this week. Also, can I just show you this plant that I got gifted around Christmas time? It's like this succulent plant, and I got it and it was like this big, and it has just like shot up to hell. I have absolutely no idea what this is called, but it is bananas. It is bananas on toast. I don't even know, like I just keep rotating it. I don't know what to do with it. So if you're good with plants, let a girl know. So let's see, Taurus, what should you do this week? Oh, okay, you got 2. All right. So you have 3 cards. All right, hold on now. Everybody be cool. So we have the 4 of Swords, rest, recovery. Something I love about the Four of Swords, Taurus, is this idea of mental digestion. Sometimes you gotta unplug so that way what you've already absorbed and been through can like start to digest and make sense a little bit. So it's definitely not a week where we are taking in like a lot of new information, more so just digesting, understanding, and then releasing like kind of what we've already been through. You also have the 10 of Cups. So if you have the ability to rest and digest with friends, with family, or even with your ancestors, with your spirit guides, your angels, like the energies, the people, the spirits that make you feel loved, that put you in a space of belonging, especially if you've come out of a long, arduous journey, if you have been lonely, it's important to be in spaces and with people. And again, sometimes there aren't people, there's energies, there's spirits, there's God, whatever it may be for you. To be around energies that feel like belonging, that feel like family, that make you feel like you're wanted here, or at the very least, even with like the Four of Swords being like technical, that like maybe the stuff that you're watching also inspires a feeling of like hearth, of home, feeling warm and cozy. Again, that's some of that like nostalgic feeling, because we also have the Three of Wands, which again is a card of patience. It can be a card of waiting, but it's also a card of gorgeous visualization. So it's also a really good week for like daydreaming, for watching fantasy shows or movies. Again, stuff from when you were a kid, right? Like put on The Secret Garden or put on your favorite anime. Like allow yourself to be kind of engulfed in that feeling of like nostalgia and warmth and joy. And I love this and it loves me too. That's a good thing. Let's see, what are we avoiding? We got two again. What are we avoiding this week? Okay, so we have the Page of Pentacles. And then we also have the King of Swords. Oh, okay. So this is a little bit of like a little sassy, I want to say, Taurus, but I want to say this is a good week to not like really, I want to say like speak up about things that like you're not super well versed in, especially if there's someone else like around that actually has to be, some of these messages are crazy, that actually have to, that really, I just got a disgusting message on here. I forgot, YouTube is a very fun platform, but I also forgot how disgusting people can be on here. I think the Taurus, and I apologize for the disgusting people in the chat, that interrupted from your flow. I think this week it's important to avoid speaking up or on matters that you may not be super well versed in, acting as like an authority in spaces where you may not have a lot of experience in. I also, and this is kind of like random, I feel like this is not the week to seek out a mentor, because I just feel like there's something about like, oh, like I can pay you to be my mentor. Could you do this for me? Or could you teach me that? Because it almost feels like some of those authority figures or experts that you might be like guided or like feel like you want to learn from, they might just like not be in a receptive space to it. So I almost want to say like save your peace, save your change, save your words for next week. Again, I don't think this is a week to be taking on like too much new information or new mentors or new guides. I think it's about resting and digesting and processing what you've already done. And again, there's something about this like King of Swords that he just feels kind of like a jerk to me. Whatever energy is like this represents for you this week, he just feels like he's not here to play ball. It feels like a very dismissive energy. So in a more elegant way, I would say, try to avoid like throwing your pearls to swine. Because I even have a feeling of like, oh, I know you're an expert over here, but like, have you thought about this? Like just try to put your 2 cents in, and your page is upright. Like you might actually have something legitimate to share from your experience, but people just might not be receptive to it. So avoid throwing your pearls to swine, regardless of the status of that pig, I guess I want to say. And what should you consider this week? The Two of Swords, again, more waiting and more resting and more digesting. Oh, this is actually gorgeous. So the way that I'm looking at this card, Taurus, this almost looks like an eye to me, right? Almost like a Nazar, like what you would use against the evil eye. But instead, there's all of these flowers and this beautiful adornment here. So something to consider actually this week, and I think that plays into the Three of Wands that we got for you before, is practicing seeing the world through a more beautiful lens, seeing yourself, Taurus, through a more beautiful lens. When you are coming out of a dust devil cycle, when you have been to hell and back, you might start feeling and seeing yourself a little bit like an animal, right? Because you've been in survival mode for so long. There's something about using this week and resting and washing yourself in that gorgeous 10 of Cups energy to reframe how you see yourself as a survivor, as a thriver, someone who's incredibly strong and beautiful and resourceful, that you have a big future, that your best days are ahead of you, like really to fall back in love with Taurus. That's what I want to say. I really like that for you so much. And it feels very well earned and deserved coming out of this dust devil moment. It is a... Oh, thank you. I was like, I knew that there would be a plant gal in the chat. Oh my God. Thank you. It's really quite beautiful. I love like the wax around it. It just is growing at such a rapid rate. It has been shocking to me. And on top of it, it's also got, when I first got it, it didn't have these. These are starting to grow too. And not just one, it's like a stack of cards. Look at it. It's crazy. I've never, and I have a lot of, like, do you see? I have a lot of different plants. I have succulents over. I mean, I got plants everywhere in this house. But this one has thrown me for a loop. So I just keep rotating it and just waiting. I'd also think that, like right here, it almost seems like it wants to open. So does this flower? Is this like a flowering plant? I don't know. I don't know. It is kind of bananas though. So let's see, who do you have next? We have Gemini. Gemini. Last month, I had a Christmas tree right here in this corner. So all of my plants were like kind of blocked by the Christmas tree, and it's January, December, so it's cold. And I apparently love to buy tropical plants. So all my plants are like in a little bit of rehab. They're like, it's too cold. It's too cold in this office. I'm not getting enough light. I'm like, I'm sorry. But somehow my poinsettia in like the dark corner of the living room is doing just fine. It's doing just fine. Let's see, Gemini. Oh, that was fast. Okay, 111 on the clock. Drifter, experiencing life as it comes. And for whatever reason, Gemini, I'm hearing that song by The Doors. People are strange. People are strange when you're a stranger. People seem wicked when you're alone. The drifter is also coming forward. They're showing me Fast and Furious. It's also coming forward a bit as like the wanderer. So I wonder if part of the energy for you this week is dropping expectations, taking things like literally as they come, one step at a time. And I wonder if you're going to be in like a hermit mode, but you're like an active hermit. The hermit we often interpret as being like a very stationary figure, but the hermit in essence, and in archetype, he's a wanderer. He goes from town to town. He goes from place to place. Or he's even an energy that if he is stationed somewhere specific, people come to see him. A little bit like an oracle. Doesn't have the same job as an oracle, but a bit like that. So there is something about you being kind of in motion this week, and also being kind of, I don't know, flexible, experiencing life as it comes. You have sails here, so it feels like the spirit kind of inspires and moves you, and it's just kind of in a very automatic, okay, I'll go over here. Sure, I'll stop at the corner store. Sure, I'll go take a nap. Sure, I'll go read this random rabbit hole that's been presented to me. It's very kind of like, yes, I will. Sure, no problem. I like that. It's very fluid. It's very like cooperative. It's a very curious way to kind of navigate the week, just kind of wherever the wind takes your sails. And I like that. He is traveling through a corridor. So, and I'm hearing meatloafs. I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. So I also want to add like a small disclaimer of like within reason, right? If there's an energy that's like, hey, you can fly, No, you can't, like, right? So like, you do it within reason, use your discernment, maintain your boundaries, especially your spiritual boundaries. Sometimes I feel like in spiritual communities, we talk so much about setting boundaries with people, with ourselves, with our shadow, right? But we don't often talk about setting spiritual boundaries. That might be significant for you here. 14 does connect us to Temperance and the Major Arcana, who is both a healer and a teacher. So I wonder if there's something in this week about you kind of getting your lesson. It's a refinement. That's what it feels like. It feels like a refinement of being able to like follow the spirit while also staying and maintaining within the healthy boundaries that like keep you safe and like on solid ground. Maybe sometimes you find yourself in kind of either extreme, right? This is about finding like that happy medium. The Hermit, but also you're in motion. You're following spirit, but like not off a cliff, right? I think that is probably an important distinction and refinement that you're getting this week. Ooh, the rain. Have you ever seen the rain? What a gorgeous card. If there is a particular rainy day this week for you, Gemini, pay attention to that. I almost feel like I'm getting an image of you outside, like allowing the rain to like wash over you like a Hillary Duff song. Cleansing, purification, hydration. So water magic, and again, the drifter, he's on a boat, he's on the water. Water magic might be really significant for you as well. It might be time for a nice spiritual bath. As a Pisces, I take more spiritual baths than anyone you've ever met in your entire life. We're talking on the Patreon this morning in our 40-minute week ahead read that as we approach the new moon at the end of the week, there were suggestions to do house cleanings and specifically door washes. So you might need a spiritual cleanse of your body. Your house might need a spiritual cleanse. There also might be something here. Maybe you want to make moon water during this new moon to be used later for purification, ritual purposes, whatever it may be. There's also something here about speaking into your water. As a Gemini, and I say this as a Pisces, I'm two fishes, you're two twins, which means you have two mouths, yes? That means you have double the power and the potency behind your speech. Water is an amplifier, yes? It connects us to the womb of birth. It connects us to the spiritual realm. So there's something about speaking your intentions, speaking your prayers, speaking what you need into your water, Gemini, and then drinking it. So utilize that. I also love that there's kind of this lily, there's kind of this lotus energy here kind of coming out of the mud. So expect to feel a sense of refreshment. Expect to feel a weight lifted off of you as you, again, move yourself by the spirit within your healthy boundaries. Do your spiritual cleansing, your spirit baths, do your house cleansing, make your moon water. Really be in like your kind of spiritual witchy bag this week because it's really going to assist you, especially when you're utilizing water. Now let's take a look. Take a look in a book, reading rainbow. Why is that coming through? I could be anywhere. Maybe you should. When's the last time you read a good book, Gemini? When's the last time you started and finished a really good book? I don't know, it's coming through. Another one. Feels like you want a good shuffle, good mix up. All right, let's see. What should Gemini do this week? The 7 of Cups, Scorpio energy. That's beautiful. When I see the 7 of Cups, sometimes it gives me this impression, two things. One, of like testing your metal. Not all that glitters is gold, right? So sometimes we really got to hold the thing to see if there's really any truth or value in it. So I'm kind of getting the image of someone like picking up things and like shaking them. It might be a good week for you to like test the metal of the people and places and things around you. Which ideas are real? Which ones can we take action on? Which fears, which energies are just that? They're just illusions or just energy that can be swiped away, right? That feels significant. The 7 of Cups is also ruled by Scorpio. This is specifically Venus in Scorpio. Venus in Scorpio likes to get to the depth of things to prove if it's real. Again, like if it's love, if it's resonates on an emotional place. It's how Scorpio kind of digs in and then builds up, right? So again, there also might be something about searching for like a deeper emotional truth. Is this how I really feel about this? Is this what I really want? What is true for me and what is true outside of me? And then make choices from there. Don't be afraid to test things. Test the spirit, test the message, test the love, like test the metal. Does it leave a weird green, ring around your finger? What are we avoiding this week, Gemini? We got 2 cards. Oh, we have the 10 of Cups and we have the Star. Oh, we might have to get clarification for this. This is really interesting. Let's sit with this for a minute. I'll hold these cards up so you can channel them too. Couple of things come through here, Gemini. The first thing that I want to say, this is actually very different than the message we got on Patreon. I wonder if there's something going on with your ancestors, if maybe that is the testing of the metal type of thing. Because for me, the 10 of Pentacles indicates like physical community. The 10 of Cups for me often indicates like your spiritual family, like your ancestors. And the Star here, do you see how she's pouring libation? So it kind of gives me just the impression of like offerings. I don't know if like maybe there's something in the transitional energy this week about not going like out of your way to do offerings. There might be something about maybe your altar space for your ancestors or your spirits. Maybe it needs like cleansing or resetting. Maybe you want to take certain energies or spirits off the altar, put other ones on. It feels like there's something going on with that. Also, the Star can be a card of healing. I'm wondering if there have been times, and maybe this is where the spiritual boundaries from the Drifter is coming in, Gem. I wonder if there are times where maybe you're pouring a lot of your spiritual energy, your healing abilities into friends or family or a community even, that is not necessarily like reciprocating it for you in some way, shape, or form. And maybe this is a call to like set some boundaries, pull back on that. I remember very early on in my spiritual journey, I was excited. I was excited to read tarot. I was just excited to be in this world. And so I was like happy, ready, and willing to do like anything for anyone. You want a tarot reading? I'll do it. No problem. I'll give you 12 tarot readings. Let's talk about your ex-boyfriend again. No problem. Or people would want spells, or people would want healing, or specifically for me, in a lot of instances, people would want like protection because my specialty is spiritual warfare. And so people would want protection. Lauren, this is bothering me. This energy is poking me. I'm having nightmares, blah, 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 blah. And so I would just constantly be like showing up, wanting to be of service, wanting to be of help, wanting to use whatever gifts I had for good. And I would find myself drained a lot. And eventually I would also find myself in situations where people would like stop being my friend, but they would like become very dependent on my abilities or on my skills. So it wouldn't be like, hey, Lauren, do you want to go to lunch? It would be like, hey, Lauren, can you bring over your tarot cards? That type of thing. I wonder if like you're experiencing something like that as well. And over time, I had to adjust expectations and I had to set boundaries and I had to do the thing that you need to do. So I wonder if that is kind of part of this message for you as well. If maybe there is, and I'm seeing a truck drive by and it says ward, but there might be some more spiritual protections and boundaries that are needed in regards to like what you are giving or freely pouring or healing on behalf of other people. Maybe in some instances we need to teach your man how to fish instead of handing him a bucket of salmon. Does that make sense? And what should we consider, Gemini? What should we consider? The Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is a Gemini card, right? So maybe something we should consider, Gem, is you for a change. What you need, what you want, where you're not getting it, where we're going into extremes, where we're being underserved. This can also be a card of overthinking, anxiety, stress, right? And considering where the sources of those things are coming from and remembering that as a conscious creator, you have the ability to say no. your no's are just as holy as your yeses, right? So in some instances, it's about like, yes, I will go. I will see. Yes, I will consider that, right? But other situations going, no, I won't. No, I can't. No, here's a boundary. And allowing that to be a good thing for you. Hi, it's so good to see you. And allowing that to be a good thing for you. Maybe this week we need to consider you a little bit more. Your needs, where they're being met, where they're not being met, where there's unnecessary stress and pressure, and where you can give yourself permission to take it off your plate. Yes? Yes, my little Geminis. Just because you are the twins and you could do the thinking and the feeling and the action of two people doesn't mean you should. Doesn't mean you should. Again, teach your man to fish. Don't give him a bucket of it. So now, ooh, coffee time. Coffee time. It's so good to see you too. It's so nice to be on here. Again, there's like more trolls than I'm used to. But I guess I'm kind of spoiled on TikTok. But it is nice to be here. Though I don't like that YouTube doesn't let you do like horizontal streaming like that. It puts like a thing on my phone that's like, put your phone back. But I guess since TikTok, everybody is trying to do more like vertical posting. I also wish I could put music on here, but it will copyright strike me if I do. Which is unfortunate because I really like to jam. And again, your full monthly readings for the first half of January are up on the Patreon. All 12 signs. Your 40-minute weekly reading for the week is out. Your tarot spreads, your tarot tips, your witchy tips, and the astrology for the week is all out. I also have a 16-minute, it's a banishing, cleansing, and protection meditation energy working that is up on the Patreon for members, and it's also available to download independently if you need a little energy healing. But let's see. Cancer. My cosmic crabs. Let's see what is in store for you this week. Where's that? Where's that dog? Where's my baby dog? Where's my baby dog? Okay. Oh, okay, gorgeous. Stars in the sky. Card number 51. That breaks into another 6. There's a lot of 6s in the energy today. It is Monday, so today's a lunar day. It's not a Venusian day, but Venus is all over the place. Thank you. I'm glad you liked them. It says stars in the sky, limitless possibilities. So 1, for my Cancer placements, I want to say that the astrology might be specifically and particularly impactful for you this week. So I would take another look at your birth chart. They're also showing me gene keys and human design. So I would check your birth chart and run like a personal horoscope for the week. I think you could do it on like AstroSeek, Cafe Astrology. They'll give you like your personal forecast just to see how things are moving and grooving for you. Pay attention to that. And again, if you ever looked into like your gene keys or your human design and you kind of fell off it, it might be a good time to like refamiliarize yourself with it. It feels like it'll be a very woo week for you. And something on the Patreon we were talking about is that I do believe for a lot of, at least my collective, the people that I read for, they're in for a bit of an activation this week. I think you may be in that community as well. I like that you're here on this kind of cosmic bridge. So I do feel like there's something between the heavens and the earth that like you are currently bringing into form, bringing into matter, and you're being activated in order to do that and to kind of like hold that frequency. But again, there's a key, there's something specific that's either in your astrological birth chart, in one of your human design gates, something significant in your gene keys. There's something in there. See how there's a little stream of light passing here and then one here? It's about, are you having issues transmuting things? Transmuting negativity into money or beauty or health. It's like, it feels like a conversion. Like there's an issue with you converting one energy to another or moving energy from one place to another. There's something either in the birth chart or the human design chart or the gene key chart that is the key to helping you transfer from one hand to the other. Take that however that kind of resonates for you. Oh, we have the B, my favorite Cancer. The B, community, cooperation, sweetness. And I love that you're moving like closer and closer to the hive here. So it feels like, and bees naturally possess a lot of cosmic intelligence, and they remind us of making the impossible possible. Their physical like vessels aren't really set up to fly. Like they're not aerodynamic like that, and yet they do. Yes. They buzz, right? It's like they put up a bit of a frequency. And they like to dance. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's also something about sacred dance and movement as a way of shifting energy and frequency. And maybe in some instance, Cancer, that is a key in helping you transmute or convert one energy into another. There might be a component of movement, like physical movement, that is necessary in order to do that, perhaps. But I like that this is coming out because this is showing a really nice collaboration between you and the spirit, you and your spirits, in order to help you make honey, in order to help you make some kind of honey. Also, like these little gold, they feel like earrings to me. These little gold, 13 on the clock. These little gold, they feel like gold or like little earring studs to me. So I also don't know if you're gonna get some earring studs this week. Little gold balls or marbles or like a necklace. Like it feels kind of like jewelry to me. Also, the color gold, yellow, might be really helpful this week in helping you like harness the energy that you're looking for. I'm a big fan of color theory and magic. So using gold, which is so funny because you're ruled by the moon and the moon is silver, and this is like very silvery energy. So mixing metals, which again, it brings up the idea of alchemy, turning lead into gold. There's something in there for you. Movement, dance, something with your astrology and helping convert silver to gold. You wear bee earrings? Oh, I love that. There's also something, and I'm just going to just say it and then leave it here. In this card, you see it? It almost looks like she has like a little tiny belly. It's this little pooch, it's so cute to me. And this might not be for everyone, but I want to say like for those of you that are feeling self-conscious about your weight, valid, like we're all there, but there's something about like being like you're beautiful, and it's important to like feed yourself well this week. Like if you have the ability to feed yourself well, feed yourself well. Even if like you want to lose weight or whatever, don't deprive the body, don't deprive the vessel this week, because the vessel needs to be supported in order to channel and like harness these frequencies, these energies. So what are we doing this week? Okay, so we have the Three of Swords, a Libra card. I like the Three of Swords for a few reasons. One, people often relate it to pain, heartbreak, grief, and sadness. But at its core, a lot of what the Three of Swords talks about is actually like anger. So I wonder if maybe part of what you're converting is anger, sacred rage, into an energy that is more pliable. You could do kind of something else with it, right? I also like the Three of Swords. It's a very Libran card. It's very social. I'd like to see it as three different ideas, three different beliefs, three different opinions coming together to collaborate to create a new understanding for everyone involved, right? So this, for me, in a more progressive way to interpret it, I see it as a card of like diplomacy. I see it as a card of learning from others that might be really beneficial. We also have the Ten of Swords as well. That's so interesting because again, it can be a card of betrayal and all of that stuff. There might be one, from a very basic way to interpret this card, there might be an invitation this week for you to convert heartbreak or rage or sadness or grief from perhaps feeling betrayed or let down by someone into transmuting it into an energy that is hopeful or positive or abundant for you, and using motion or using something particular in your astrology to do so, to create that inner alchemy, right? To kind of become the magician. I also see this as an opportunity for you this week. It almost feels like serendipitous. Like if you come across a situation that feels like very tense, or it feels like a situation where people could be like pointing fingers at each other, like that kind of thing, that you have the ability to step forward as a bit of a diplomat, as a mediator, as someone who is able to show others multiple sides of a story to create a deeper sense of understanding. And kind of the word diffuse is coming forward, and like diffuse things. That also might be why potentially like some meditation, some stillness, getting your energy kind of aligned and together this week is also significant for you. Oh. What to avoid this week? We have la force. We have strength, right? So strong arming, bullying, being overly assertive or confrontational or combatant. This is not like a young maiden who is having a consciousness of her own ego coming forth, right? Where she's going to discipline it and do the inner mastery. This is a guy literally wrestling with the forces of nature, right? And particularly it's a lion, which is ruled by what? The sun. It's Leo. You are lunar ruled. And so on one hand, I want to say like, avoid like fighting with the fates, avoid fighting with God, avoid like doing any of that, especially because like the spirit comes to meet you and greet you as a friend this week. Also that lion, it represents like the ego of man. Again, like you cannot fight other people who are insistent on being on the wrong side of history or are insistent on being in their ego or being combatant. It's like you can't fight fire with fire this week, but you can like fight it with thoughtfulness, right? Which is why we're not bringing like hot force, but instead we're bringing like kind of cool steel, diplomacy, a differing of perspectives, even the highlighting of the emotional impact or consequences of force, of violence, or like of anything like that. You definitely, much like an ascended master, you're called into being a bit of kind of like a pacifist, the way shower, like the keeper of wisdom this week. And what is something to consider? What do we have? 6, the 7 of Wands. I like that. Consider what it is you've already won. Also consider what there is to lose by fighting with who and that which is beneath you, is what I want to say, Cancer. Similar to, I think Gemini just had the pearls to swine message, or maybe it was Taurus. One of you guys just had a pearls to swine message. There's a little bit of that in here as well. The 7 of Wands appears when we need to continue building momentum in the direction that we've already found success. So instead of using any kind of, because sometimes in the middle of alchemy, things can run like kind of hot, right? So if you are feeling a little like blustery, a little like, I want to puff my chest out, I got a little in me, that's all right. But maybe we want to like redirect that into areas of progress, future development, hopes, dreams, stuff like that, that could use that like Mars energy. Don't push with people, but continue pushing like your goals and your plans and your schedule in the direction that you want to see it. It comes after the 6 of Wands, meaning that there's already a victory you've already sustained. We just want to take the high road. We want to take the bird's eye view so we continue making successful decisions, right? That's why we pick up so much momentum in the 8 of Wands. Very good. Very good. The sound was going in and out. You're good now. Okay, good. I'm glad. Yay. And now, and also maybe avoid Leos, because you did have that, and Leo is next. Let's see. Leo. You have, Leo, you have a very warm and summery energy. And I feel like very warm around like the throat chakra, but almost as if someone had like put like a big fuzzy scarf around me. But I see you sat at a beach is what they're showing me. Is that a hawk? That's a hawk. They're showing me, you sat at a beach, but you're in like a winter coat. And you have like a big scarf on and like you're kind of shivering. So it feels like wherever I'm meeting you, Leo, like you're have positioned yourself in the place that you want to be, but it's like still kind of like cold, or like maybe like not totally hospitable. It's like not ready yet. It's almost like so often like God will put us like in the waiting room. It feels like you're out of the waiting room and you're like sat on the beach, like you're in the right place, but it's like not quite the right time. So you're just kind of like bundled up and like you're waiting for spring, you're waiting for summer. It's like if I could wait in the waiting room, I could wait on this beach. Is how that comes through. You have to let me know in the comments. That's so funny. Stop it. A winter's dream, gestation period. You can't make it up. You really can't make it up. And here it's like this big kind of like spiritual snail, right? Like bringing its home wherever it goes. It also, when I think about these little snails, I think about the 9 of Pentacles, right? It's like success that can come with you. So again, I do feel like wherever you are at right now, Leo, like you're in the right place, or wherever like your mind is fixed. This is where I'm going to go. This is the platform I'm placing myself on. This is the major I'm going to have in college. This is the town that I'm going to live in and have a family in. Like wherever it is, this is the business I'm going to run. You're in the right place, but you're early. You're just a bit early right now. And so you have to wait, literally just like nature, wheel of fortune. You have to wait for the seasons to shift. So this is a good, on the beach, you're appearing to me in a masculine energy, saying like, I'm ready to go, to build, to construct. She is appearing to me in a feminine energy. So I would suggest, if this is your message and it does resonate with you, that it's a good time to like observe, to take stock, right? Let's say you wanted to start a business, or you want to start a platform, you want to be a content creator. Let's just use that as an example, right? Maybe it's slow, it's cold for you. Maybe it's a good time to learn the platform, what other creators are doing, what other businesses that are similar to yours, how they're marketing. What does the competition look like? What are their resources, right? What are the clientele? If it's too cold to go boogie boarding, then notice how other people are making their sand castles. What kind of shells are on this beach? What time does the tide come in? What time does the tide go out? When is sundown? When does the sunrise come up? What kind of fish, what kind of aquatic animals are in this water, right? Not every place has crocodiles. Some places have sharks. Some places have whales. Some places have crabs, right? Like what's going on around you? You're in the right space where your mind is fixed in the right direction. It's just not time to really construct meaningfully yet. Now is the time to rest and to observe and take stock of like what's around you. So that way, when the time to build and construct is here, Leo, you already have all of the data and the information that you need to begin. Yep, seeds, new ideas, hope, open-mindedness. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So again, you have your seeds. And also, the cool thing about seeds is that some of them need to be, it's called cold stratification. Some plants, they need to be planted in the autumn, or they need to be planted in the winter, because they're meant to mature in the cold ground. And then when the soil shifts and the seasons change, they just naturally begin to bloom. So again, don't allow, wherever you're at, if it's a little slow, if it's a little cold, if it feels like it's not working with you in the way you want, do not be discouraged. You are going through a period of cold stratification. And again, if you are interested in like kind of more specifically what's going on this month, go check your monthly reading on the Patreon. It's a very cool energy for you. I don't think you like it. I don't think you like the patient, waiting, observing part of this. But I think it's good for you. It's going, I want to say it's going to correct something within your process that's been missing. And it's basically like reconnaissance is what I want to say. So let's see what to do. What to do, Leo? What to do? Oh, the Four of Pentacles. Sit tight. Sit tight. Conserve your energy. Conserve your resources. Take a look around. Be where your feet are planted. I also liked the Four of Pentacles. It reminds me of a figure four in Pilates or in yoga, which really helps like kind of stretch and stabilize the body. So there also might be something here in this current period this week about working on like strengthening the body. Like maybe you've just been like, you've been out of the gym, you've been out of your routine. There's something about the mind-body connection that feels significant here. I like that. Pentacles also very much relates to community. So this might be a good week to like stay in touch and on top of your family, your social circle. So, hey, how you doing? You want to get a coffee this week? Like, keep things even keel. What should we avoid for my Leos? The Ace of Pentacles, right? So starting anything super new. Also, this pentacle is like really big. So making like big investments. I wouldn't make big purchases this week. I wouldn't sign on for any like new deals, new programs, like anything like that. Work out at home, do a free YouTube video, right? Have coffee at the house, like that type of stuff. Being more of like a conservation type of energy, you're very much in a wintering. Some energies and some signs this month are like already in kind of like this spiritual spring. And again, you feel summery, but it's like, it's still winter around you. So I would just avoid making, again, any large purchases, any large investments, starting anything new that's going to require like a lot of your time, of your resources, of your energy. It's really just about maintaining what you have and observing how everything else works around you. So that way when it does warm up, again, like you're ready to go. And what are we considering? Oh, that flew across the room. Don't be mad at me. Of course, we have wands. You're like, I don't want any more. I don't want any more pentacles, Lord. I want wands. Yeah, I'm starting a new business, but my body feels a little bit out of whack. Yeah, give yourself a little bit of time. Stretching, just stabilize the body. Yes? All right, and so then what to avoid? We have the Four of Wands. We have the Four of Wands. So again, very old school mama advice, counting your chickens before they hatch, putting too many of your eggs in the same basket, celebrating too soon, telling other people your plans. This also has like an invitation type of energy. The Four of Wands, it can be a wedding, a graduation. It's like a thing. It's like an event. So one, I don't know if you have like any events on the schedule this week. You have something significant going on and your intuition is like, I don't know if I want to go to that. I don't know if I want to do that. With all these pentacles, it could even be like a health thing. Like there's a party that you don't want to go to and you go to it and you end up getting sick. Like you end up getting a head cold for like the next week and you're miserable, right? Like it could be something like that. So I almost want to say like, if you feel good to go, then go. But if your intuition is like telling you, we have like 15 watchers, 15 likes, 15, 15. That if your intuition is like, I don't really want to go, I'm not really that into it, don't go. Like listen to your intuition when it says like, I don't want to go to like that event. I don't want to be in a room with those people. I don't want to do that. This is also, I feel like, biting off more than you can chew. Again, have someone to the house for coffee, make a little dinner, whatever. But if you're like, we're going to have a big house party and we're going to have a bunch of people come over and I'm going to make a big fancy thing. It's like, nah, do it next week. You should have done it last week. Do it 2 weeks from now. But like, don't do it this week. This week is about conservation. This week is about stability. This week is about cooling your jets, looking around, taking notes of what's going on. That is like the best way, I think, to approach this week. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't overinvest in anything. And if your intuition is like saying like it doesn't really want to go to a place or to be with a certain group of people, don't. Not for like some nefarious reason, but because there's just so many of these wintry pentacles energies, I think you could literally get like sick. You get a head cold, you catch COVID from someone who doesn't wash their hands. Like it's that type of energy. Very good. Very good, because that'll really that'll be the thing that really sets you off. I can already tell. So that's what I have. I have for you, Leo. I definitely haven't been in the mood for socializing. Hey, Travis, it's so nice to see you. I definitely haven't been in the mood for all the socializing. I feel like I don't have a lot of Leo placements at all. I'm about as Pisces as you get. I haven't felt like I don't want to socialize, but I feel like just so consumed with like my personal projects, like with my readings, with like my writing. I started a Substack. It's called Girl Folk. And I'm just exploring like personal essays, feminist folklore, and like literature and mythology. In The Women Who Runs with Wolves, she talks about like finding like wild mothers out there. And so it's kind of just like this personal project of finding wild mothers. And I recently converted like my kind of side tarot work into Women Read Tarot. And so I have this project that I'm calling A Living Altar, where I am basically trying to recenter tarot, but through like a feminist lens or through like a woman's point of view. And so like I just felt really consumed with that, and I want to like redecorate my living room. Like I feel like I could socialize with people. I just feel very, I don't know, consumed with like my little personal side quests right now. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. So like this tarot stuff, all of that is like still the Untitled Tarot. But my other like creative platforms and outlets are under Women Read Tarot and Girl Folk. That's where we're at. We're having fun. We're having fun with it. Oh my God, that's so funny. For whoever needs it, the Amazon truck is like across the street, and on the side it says, "Let us save you the trip." So I feel like that's a message for someone. But let's see, Virgo. Where are you at, Virgo? Oh. We have card number 8, Scorpio number. Crown Games, the right use of power. Here, the head has been taken off of the neck, and it's been put closer to where the heart and the core is, like where the stomach is. This is significant. It almost feels a little bit like a tower. The tower, sorry, I just got a text message, threw me off. Hold on for a second. Hold, please. Hello. Okay. Sorry. I got a text message and I was like, is everything okay? And hello. Okay. Sorry. I got a text message and I was like, is everything okay? And it's like, yeah, I just wanted to check in. I'm like, you bastard. Like, you scared me. I'm such like a nervous Nelly sometimes. That's a vulture. Hello. Wow, what a graceful flyer. Okay, so Virgo, pardon me, excuse me. I got a text message. It was like, call me. And I was like, hey, Gan, are you okay? Like, yeah, I'm fine. It's like, all right, well, I'm streaming. Stop it. So Virgo, we have Crown Games, right use of power. And here, the head has been taken off of the neck and it's been placed right here in the core of the body. This feels significant. If you've been with me for any stretch of time, if you've ever been in my tarot classes, something I talk about in regards to the Tower card is that it's often interpreted as something that's been built on shaky foundations. But if you visually look at a Tower card in almost any deck, the foundation is fine. It's stable. It's not cracking. It's maybe built up high. It's not cracking. It's the crown that gets hit by the lightning. It's the top of the tower that gets cracked off. Typically a literal crown is being thrown as well. In addition to a feminine king and a masculine king and a feminine queen, authority figures, monarchs that are being tossed out of the tower, right? For me, it's a card about authority. What is ruling over you? Who is your master? So one, Crown Games, right use of power. I'm wondering, Virgo, if there's a moment that you have this week, because these are just for this week, where you're realizing, wait a second, I've been operating out of a weird authority. There's been sort of, I don't want to say like the wrong idea, but like the wrong impression that like, I don't know. There's like an energy that has been influencing you. Maybe it's social media. Maybe it's your social circle. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's some spiritual lesson that you received years ago that like doesn't cut the mustard anymore. But like there might be a moment here where you're like, I don't feel like I'm using my power the way that it should be used, the way that I want to be using it. Maybe it's because you've been feeling disempowered. Like you don't have any agency. You don't have any emotion when you actually do, right? There may be something that an authority figure, a family member, a parent, aunts or uncles, right? Someone that you respected who was a mentor to you, right? Or something that was told to you when you were young that like got put into your brain and has been kind of like influencing or controlling how you see the world, how you see yourself, how you actualize and enact your own power, right? That you're going, that's not right. This is not how I want to use my power. This is not how I want to tap into it. This is not helping me. And like kind of removing like the head, removing the crown. Oftentimes the head is also symbolic of like the soul. So I don't know, it almost feels like this like coming home to self. I'm reclaiming my soul for my own. I'm tapping back into my own power, how I feel like I want to use it, what I feel like I want to use it for, regardless of what anyone else or whatever else like thinks I should be doing with it. So it's like you're kind of putting yourself back in the driver's seat and no longer allowing any person or any principality as well to influence like who you think you are and like what you should be doing and how you're supposed to be doing it. And so that's why I also feel like this crown, it's being placed, this head, it's being placed back over the heart and placed back over the solar plexus, the core of you. This is a little bit more of that like litmus test type of energy. Does this resonate in my heart? Does this feel good in my body? Does this feel like truth? Does this feel like me? And really checking in with that, like body intelligence and emotional intelligence before putting the head back on the neck and then acting forward in that power. Hi, hello, hello. Hi, I'm glad you kept this gender neutral. You're one of the few I watch. And I'm so masculine. Yeah, typically, you know, like 95% of my collective is female identifying people. And of course I have like girl folk and women read tarot. That's kind of my niche in a lot of ways, but I read for anyone who's here. I bring the messages through, but I don't necessarily get to dictate who they're for, right? So we have hedge, potential, boundaries, indecision. And here we have the scales of justice right at the end before we hit the gates of entry. This is very, very interesting to me, Virgo. Even the way like her fingers are crossed in this card, it kind of looks a little bit like how the shrubbery and like the architecture of this garden is as well. Hedge, a hedge of protection, potential, boundaries, indecision. I do feel like this is a huge message this week about not allowing yourself to be influenced by anyone or anything outside of your own moral compass, your own sense of integrity, and like making choices and forming beliefs around the things that are in alignment with your character. Because at the end of the day, it will be your heart that is placed on this scale next to a feather. Like no one else's, right? And so the idea of like, well, somebody told me to do that, or I felt like this, or I don't know, right? Like, well, they told me to. It's like that won't fly, right? And so I think that there's like a big invitation here this week, like back into your own sovereignty to go, you know what? At the end of the day, like I'm going to be graded on my own homework. And so I'm not going to let anybody like copy off my test, and I'm not going to take anyone's word for it. Like I'm going to make choices that feel authentic and real to me because I have to stand by them, right? So what are we doing this week? And it feels like that's important before like there's some kind of entry. Because if you notice, if you look here, this gate's open. But it's like you have to put like your heart or your choices on the scale before you're like allowed in. So I don't like the idea of like a test necessarily, but there might be like a challenge to your power, or like, what are you going to do, Virgo? What choice are you going to make? Are you going to live in integrity? Are you going to live true to your values, to your morals, right? Or are you going to basically allow yourself to be like peer pressured into something, into doing or acting in a certain kind of way? Now, we have, again, this Pentacles card. Fierce examination is really important. This is also a Virgo card here, this Page of Pentacles here. So one, something to do this week, it's to be your fucking self, right? Be yourself. Do not feel, and actually I love this because it's a page, and pages don't naturally like have any authority. So there also might be something here about feeling like you have to be an expert or you have to be an authority on things. You're not allowed to be the student or the explorer or the observer or the one just like figuring it out. And so sometimes that forces us into beliefs or into choices that like that might have been different had we given ourselves more time. So I want to say this week, it's important to be patient with yourself. Give yourself the time that is required to like come to a decision, right? To understand how you, again, feel about something before you agree, before you sign off, before you co-sign in some way. This is also a deep card of research as well. So one, I wonder if some of you may be guided to research monarchs, political systems, power systems, how maybe someone you admired made it through like a challenge of sorts. Like there's like a research and development kind of energy I'm pulling off of this card. But you're like, hey, look into this a little deeper. What about structures of power? What about the scales of Mott? What about, you know, how power was modeled to you in your childhood? Like let's pop the hood, baby. Like let's pop the hood and look at this stuff this week. It's just you. It's just you. Hi. So let's see, what are we avoiding? 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we have the king. Oh, that's so interesting. And then we have the King of Pentacles coming out to avoid. Someone else had that like feminine Empress energy. I don't know if it was Aries. If there is an older, authoritative, masculine figure in your environment, Virgo, that like tends to put you into overthinking, into a tailspin, a little bit of a crash out, right? Or even tries to like talk you or like box you into a corner intellectually, right? Almost like trying to challenge your authority or like what you think you know. Avoid people like that. That's first and foremost. Anybody that wants to have basically like a battle of wits and wills. Anyone that wants to like, I don't know, puff their chest out or see like who's really the boss around here. That's for the fucking bird. That's not for you. That is not what you're supposed to be doing this week. Again, there's something about your willingness to go, actually, I am the student. Actually, I am the forever observer. Actually, I don't know what I don't know, baby. Actually, I'm going to figure it out as I go, right? There's something about the humility of that like undercuts the people that like want to, I want to say like embarrass you or challenge you or try to prove that you don't know what you think you know. You're like, exactly. That's why I'm out here learning, right? It kind of like confuses like the enemy, like as they say. Do you see how oh my God. Do you see how he's looking so like resentfully at this page? If this resonates for you, and again, your messages on Patreon might be extended or a little bit different than this, I almost feel like there's something from this King of Pentacles that is like resentful of the potential that you still have. So again, if this is also representing someone that like is maybe somewhat close to you and maybe a bit older, they may resent the fact that like you still got life ahead of you. You could change, you could pivot, you could start over. It's like, there's still opportunities, there's still potential, there's still life, there's still road ahead of you in a way that they don't feel like they have. And so it's more productive and enjoyable for them to try and talk or debate people into a corner or into a circle to disempower them, right? Because that's how they feel, which goes to show you that sometimes people can have way more than you do. They can have more money, they can have more influence and status, they can have more experience, they can have more physical support, they can have more they can have more than everything than you do. But they don't have a lick of curiosity. They don't got a drop of humility in them. They can feel utterly spiritually poor. And you could be there without a pot to piss in and be internally the richest man on earth. And that is a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. So I like this crown games the more that I'm looking at it. There may be an opportunity this week where someone shows you how not to use power. How people can rise in the ranks and still act as children. I feel like someone's embarrassing themselves. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So what are you considering this week? The Three of Swords. The Three of Swords. This is actually coming through it as like modes and means of communication, as we were talking about before. Yes, the Three of Swords can be heartbreak, betrayal, disappointment, pain, suffering, all of our favorite things, right? But in a more progressive way, it can also talk about debate and diplomacy and introducing different beliefs or different ideas into things. This kind of feels like your secret weapon, Virgo. When people want to... Oh, it's two hawks. You'll never be able to see it because I have a screen in my window and the camera does not pick up anything. But there's just two hawks. They're so gorgeous. Did you hear them like squall? Did you hear them squeak? They almost sounded like seagulls. They're so gorgeous. Just, they're just flying with each other in such a beautiful, smooth unison. Oh my God. So hawks also might be really significant for you, or pairs of hawks. You might be finding like your pair. Like, I don't know. I almost feel like there's something here about like with this king of, I'm also going like this with my finger, like picking at my cuticles, Virgo. And that's not something that I do. I'm not like a picker. So that might be significant. Your picker. There's something about this like King of Pentacles energy, who or whatever it is, that feels like you are, I don't know, like underneath it or beneath it in some way, but in reality, like they've actually like met their match in you. Especially if you go the route of being like deeply diplomatic and like, well, what about this? Have you considered that? Like, I don't know. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, I don't know. Like there's something again that like it really irritates or irks it, but it's an entirely different way of interacting with powers and principalities than you might be used to. And it does feel like it's a key to something. It's a key, yep, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to the 9 of Pentacles. It's a key to the 9 of Pentacles. So keep on your P's and Q's. Don't let anyone back you into a corner, and don't let anyone pull you out of your character in an effort to demonstrate to them that you are not lesser, because your life will communicate that for you regardless, Virgo. King of Pentacles. I'm like, this son of a bitch. Like, that's how I'm looking at like the King of Pentacles. I'm like, you son of a bitch. How dare you? Very funny. This coffee's so good, I don't want it to be done. It's not done yet, but I don't want it to be when it is. This cup is also so cute. I don't know if you're like me and you take forever to drink your coffee, but I do, and I always end up drinking like this sad, sludgy, like cold coffee that's been sitting in my mug for forever. So I got this little Yeti cup as one of my stocking stuffers for Christmas. And it does keep the coffee, or in this case, my peppermint latte, quite warm. Quite warm. Let's see. Libra. I saw the tidy house card on the split. So you might have some house cleaning to do this week. As like a little hearth and home witch, I'm, again, and a Pisces, I'm so serious about spiritual baths and shower cleansings. And I'm also so serious about spiritual house cleansings. Do not underestimate the spirits in your house and on the land that you live on as allies for you if you support them. Every once in a while, I'll do like a tarot reading spread like with my house, and I'm like, what did I miss? What needs cleaning? What needs, where did I need to put the incense? Like what's going on? What's going on? Do iced coffee, but I get so I love iced coffee, but I get so cold, and then I'm like, you just feel like such a whiny baby. Like it's so I just make the hot coffee. Libra, what did I say? Card number 27, heart, home, compassion, heart, home, compassion. So your home needs a little bit of love this week. Maybe, I think for some of you, maybe you just haven't been home, like you've just been working or busy or just like out and about. It feels like your home wants some TLC. It also wants some like quality time with you. And again, like I was saying before, you might want to sit down and do like a meditation or like a tarot reading, like with your house. Like, what does your house need? One time I sat down and I did just that. And I'm like, what do you want done? And the sun card came out, and that immediately in my head, I was like, the windows, right? Because that's where all the light comes in. And also like the overhead fans and like the lights. So the windows and the lights. And I looked around and I'm like, these need a good dusting. Actually, you're right. My windowsill could use a cleaning. And these lights, bulbs, could use a bit of a dusting, hot damn. And I did that, and the house felt significantly happier. So your house will communicate to you like what it needs. So one, I think, again, it's a good week for you to just like be home if you've been out and about, little quality time at home, dinners at home. Also, like your house in and of itself might want more like spiritual support. It might need a smoke cleansing. Maybe it wants the floors done, whatever it may be. It is a entity in and of itself. So summer expansion, growth. We have more bees here. We have sunflowers. So, and I'm thinking about like this card feels kind of dark. I mean, it has like the pinks and the reds, but the actual surroundings are quite dark. So I was using like the windows and the lights as an example, but there might be something about like open the windows this week. Let a little light in. I love sunflowers because they also turn in the direction of the sunlight. So there also might be something about identifying the places where you feel at home, where your heart feels happy, that are reciprocating the attention and the energy that you pour into it. I've been wondering how to use tarot for house cleansing. Yeah. The attention and the energy that you've been pouring that it comes back to you. Also a place where like you could do your most productive work. So with the bee here, I'm just wondering if like this is a good week for you to work from home, if you have the ability, if you do work from home, if you want to update maybe your spaces. Again, maybe it's like a cleansing as well. Maybe even specific spaces that like you enjoy in your home that you're not spending enough time in. Like they're showing me like a reading nook, like a little chair that like you would sit and read with your cat or like something like that. And like you haven't been in that chair, you haven't been in that space for a while. Yeah, it's cute. It's honestly, it's a very sweet energy. It's not, let me check. Someone had one of the monthly readings, which are available on Patreon. They had Virgo. It was Virgo. They're a monthly reading and they're your neighbor. They're so close to you, it's worth watching. But their monthly reading was called A Time for Hobbiting. And the idea there was like they weren't going into a hermit mode, they were going into a hobbiting mode. So I feel like this week you're kind of called to hobbit as well. Not hermit, but like hobbit. Be home, be in like your comfy cozies as we call them. Eat your good food, snuggle up with your cat, right? Like turn on the candles. Get a big blanket. It's like just hobbit, have 2 dinners. Extra butter, you know, it's very much of that energy. So what are you doing this week, Libra? All right, I mean, okay, if you insist. We have the Knight of Wands, which speaks a lot to spontaneity, getting out there. This feels a little off though to me. I mean, if you say so, can I ask why? I'm gonna clarify. Oh, because the 2 of Cups. Okay. Heart, home, compassion. You going out or you calling them in? Because wands are a very external energy. So something to do. This is like get up on the horse, like get on out there. But the 2 of Cups is like a companion type of energy. So maybe for you and for some of you, the home is not quite literally, but it's, as it says, the heart home. So maybe some of you are like seeking companionship, perhaps. So maybe this is a week that like you're home, but maybe like you go on a date. This could also be maybe because he's not on a horse. So that gives me the mode of him like actually not like traveling anywhere. As if he were to go by foot, it would take him much longer. So there might be something here about maybe not interpreting him as like transportation and getting out there, but more as like a vessel of passion, perhaps, especially with that 2 of Cups. Maybe this is a good week to lean into your passion, to make your home more hospitable for love, for sex, for passion. Maybe you want to have like a nice date night at home. Maybe you're currently seeing someone, you want to make them dinner, like little movie nights, something like that. Because I just don't see him traveling as much as like standing there and kind of like being a symbol of passion. But again, if you're called out the door, get on out there. Nancy Sinatra said these boots are in fact made for walking, girl. So let's see what to avoid this week. We have the 5 of Swords. So again, this is why I feel like they don't want you out. Like they don't want you out the house. Have passion come and meet you at home if it must. Because the 5 of Swords can be antagonism. It can be debate. People just needing to be right. Like a battle of the minds, like constantly. But you have heart home. You have summer. Like this is warm. Like these are comfortable energies. And the 5 of Swords, it's like cold wind. And so, and again, even dew, 2 of Cups, warmth, sensuality, passion from the valet here. Like I just feel like it's important to not argue with people who enjoy arguing for the sake of it. You would be shocked. It's just like trolls. They're like energy vampires. They like to get a rise out of you because then they go, haha. They also, some people, and maybe this is important for you, Libra, because you being ruled by Venus are naturally harmonious. Some people are like energy vampires and siphoners, but some people, through more of like a Venusian lens, some people have like a weird like conflict kink where it's like they actually like they get something from like being in conflict, from riling people up, from getting into the heated debate. It's like they get something out of it. And like, I almost feel like starve them. Like, don't give people like any of that because you're in like this happy, warming up kind of passionate type of energy. And it's all soft around the edges. It's like the Two of Cups, he softens the wands. It's like this heart home in the summer. It warms up the home. It warms up the heart. It warms up the body. And then you have like this irritating, grating little voice that wants to like get its rocks off by like throwing you out of alignment. And like, you're better and you're smarter than that and you deserve better than to entertain like that low hanging fruit. So anyone or anything that feels like it's got to get its 2 little cents in, no way. It's either an energy vampire or it's like a weird little kink that someone has. Don't take the bait. Don't go for it. Stay in your happy bubble. The only thing they can try to do is to try to burst it. And if you don't let them, you get to rise and kind of float away and they get stuck exactly where they are. I took today off, Virgo time, yeah. And then what should we consider, Libra? Oh, so we have strength. Strength of what? The 9 of Swords. Oh, I like this. So the 9 of Swords, again, can often be overthinking. It's a Gemini card. Stress, anxiety. What about this? What about that? Right? And that's what happens when you allow like the 5 of Swords to win. But then we have strength here. More of that solar, sunny, warm energy right here. And I like that he's kind of wrestling with this because it's the ego, right? So we all have an ego. So there might be something here about having to maybe consider wrestling with like one's own ego a little bit. Don't wrestle with other people and their petty egos. Wrestle with your own. The part of you that like wants to clap back. The part of you that like wants to fight a little bit too. The part of you that wants to step out of your position to prove something to someone or to teach them some kind of lesson that their bad behavior will teach them for you over time. They will be a victim to the natural consequences of their own bravado, right? And that if anything, it's more important to learn how to contain and restrain the animalistic instinct within you to claw back. Because what it does is then it just puts you into more anxiety. Well, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Or, oh, I wish I didn't act like that. Or, oh, now I'm not happy at home when I could have been, right? Like, how many times have you got into an argument with someone on the internet and you're like, that was like 40 minutes of my time that I spent pissed off at some stranger who's probably like a Russian bot. Like, what am I doing that for? Like, that's so stupid. I could have watched an episode of Gilmore Girls and like painted my nails. Like, I could have done the do-si-do and turned myself around. What the fuck, right? It's very much that energy of like recognizing when you step out of position or when you don't focus on Venus things, right? Beauty, harmony, being fucking awesome. That like you end up creating more stress for yourself and you end up allowing like the low-hanging fruit and the people that grow it, you allow them to win, right? And as I say that, my left foot is starting to itch. So it feels like the more that you refuse to lend your energy to like lower places, people, and things, and you invest it back into your own heart, into your own happiness, into being comfortable. People don't like to see you comfortable, Libra. They don't want to see you happy. They don't want to see you comfortable. Fuck them. Be comfortable. Have passion come to your door. Create the space around you. Like create this little bubble, like this little ecosystem of like gorgeous energy for yourself. And then don't let any of these kinds of people in, because then they won't be able to stir up little tornadoes within it, and then you won't have stepped outside of your little bubble in order to be in like the cold winter with them. Nope. New standard. Aphrodite, Venus says there is a new standard in year 2026 for you, Libra. Get to it. How that comes through. That is for my beautiful Libras. What was your... And you know what? When I was doing the air signs for the January monthly readings, they came through with titles, which almost never happens. And it was the gust, the gale, and the breeze. And you, Libra, your monthly reading for January is called the breeze. Not the gust, not the gale, the breeze. Easy does it. Easy does it. So that's on Patreon if you want to watch it. But I like that this lined up really perfectly for you. So glad to have your energy back. Thank you. It's nice to be back on YouTube. I was telling them earlier that, I've been doing readings the entire time. I've just been doing them on TikTok, on Patreon, on Instagram. I've just been doing them other places. But I'm here now. I spent more time with my Libra thinking, oh, this morning made breakfast together for him. See, that's exactly the right energy. Yes. Oh God, yes, I'm a Gemini sun and experiencing that. I need to go on like a mountain and hide. Too much projections when they don't like their reading. So yes, I know. Let's see what else we got. Scorpio. Oh, that's fast. Okay, Scorpio, so you have Revelation, the Unmarked Trail, card number 57. That brings us to what? 12? Brings us to 12. I want to say that the routes you have previously taken to try to get to your destination have kind of fallen away, or they didn't quite lead you to the promised land that you wanted to get to, but there is a new trail, the Unmarked Trail. There is... I'm hearing shortcut. There is a shortcut. There is a side door. There is another route in order to get to where you want to go that is being prepared to be revealed to you this week. So similar, I think it was to Aries reading. You're both Mars ruled. That there is kind of divine inspiration, a bit of a light bulb, aha moment that comes to you this week. Butterfly, a sign of transformation. Transformation, joy, beauty. Oh my God, this is gorgeous. And it's kind of got a little bit of that ugly duckling, turns out to be a swan energy. Because do you see how it's kind of floating closer and closer to almost like this nest of butterflies? So this path or this trail or the side door or shortcut to like bring you to where it is that you want to go. You're also going to find that like your tribe is there, your community, the people that are like you are going to be there. And I think in retrospect, when you look back, you're going to realize, oh, the problem was I was in a pond full of ducks and I'm actually a swan. That's part of the issue there. Even just the way this is shaped, this feels kind of like wings to me as well. So I also wonder if there's something about like upper back, like shoulder tension that is going to be kind of loosened up for you this week, like you're kind of growing wings as well. I also like that 57, it breaks down to 12. 12 is the number of the Hangman, Pisces, in the major arcana. And the Hangman is definitely a card of like it's a card of revelation. It's that aha, oh, I get it moment. It's awakening and awareness and the ego. So you also might be kind of like tapping into a new identity as you come out of this chrysalis. Also the color green, heart chakra, Archangel Raphael might be significant for you. Blue monarch specifically also might be a sign for you. They're also showing me popcorn, which is often a symbol of spirit preparing like a good show and good luck as well. 21 might be significant. Blackjack. Are you seeing stuff about Vegas or Chevy Chase, like Vegas Vacation? 21, the World card. So you have a lot here. Okay, so let's see what you do this week, Scorp. You have a lot of cards coming out. Okay, so we have the 2 of Wands. We also have the 4 of Wands, which equals the 6 of Wands. So 1, this feels like preparing to open the door. Preparing to open the door. One, I think it's important to start positioning your mind for success as opposed to, well, this could happen and then that could happen and what if this go wrong? That really wants, with the butterfly here, that really wants to be transformed. And the Page of Cups with the World card, It's often said that the sun is the happiest card in the deck. In my opinion, I actually think it's the world card because it indicates 222 on the clock. Successful endings, successful beginnings. It's an amazingly positive omen for all that we undertake beneath its rays. Yes. It's a big macro energy, right? The sun comes up every day, but sometimes it's here, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's obscured by clouds, but the world is always the world. It's always turning. So it has a beautiful energy of being quite constant. With the Page of Cups here as well, I also think this is an excellent week for spiritual work and divination for you as well. So one, what to do this week is really tap into your clairs is specifically what's coming through, but to tap into your psychic and spiritual senses and abilities, channeling, open up the space for downloads and like spiritual communication to come in, because the Page of Cups very much represents that. I wonder if, I don't know, the world also has like this other world type of energy. So I don't know if there are like kind of other worlds or like other realms that are connected to your practice that you kind of tap into from here or there, but that seems to be significant as well. And especially with that energy of like invitation and the metamorphosis of this butterfly, I definitely feel like this is with spiritual boundaries and discernment and protection, yes, but like opening yourself up for like the spirit this week, to be heard, to communicate, to be guided, to be held. That's very much what this feels like. In that, more specifically, this might be a good week to set up an altar. If you don't have an altar, if you don't have a prayer closet, if you don't have a sacred space, this could be a good week. Could be in your car, but this could be a good week to set up that, or to even set up more of like a spiritual routine. What are we avoiding this week? Again, because this is an unmarked trail. So there's something about like intellectual property, like there's that light bulb, that aha moment that you're having. It's meant to stay private. So this is not information that like you were going to put out there and share with other people. This is just for you. So you have to be in a place of stillness. You have to be in a place where you are spiritually receptive to what's coming through. Depending on like how your spiritual gifts are organized within you, it's different for everyone. This could come through meditation or through dream or through your clairaudience or through kind of your cognizance, what you just instinctually feel called to do, right? If you need a gift identification, you could obviously come and book one with me. Scrying even with the cup here. I did a fire scrying class like years ago. I'm wondering if we should do another. Let's see. What should we avoid this week, Scorp? What was your monthly reading? What would you call it? Oh, that makes sense. So your monthly reading was called, is called Walking Amethyst on Patreon. And there was this idea of you very much being an amplifier for spiritual energy. So I see that as well. So we have the Two of Cups and we have the Five of Swords. So avoid like fighting. Yeah. Avoid fighting with, especially those like nearest and dearest to you. Something, I want to say your sister. I don't know why that's coming through, but your sister, or your partner, or like your bestie, or your parents. It's like someone, it's the Two of Cups. It's someone who's close to you. Avoid fighting with them. Avoid arguments. I'm hearing like, just let them have it. They want to be right. Just let them have it. Don't nitpick. Don't do any of that, because it's just going to bring the vibration down at a time when like you're in the midst of transformation, which is usually means that you're vibrating like pretty high. Even if you don't feel like the sun is shining out of your ass, it usually just means like your energy, again, it's like super activated. We don't want to pull it down and anchor it into like a lower frequency, into a negative or combatant energy, if and when we don't have to, right? So like whatever it is, that's fine, let them have it. That's fine, let them have it, because you're focused on a bigger conversation with spirit this week. And something to consider. Okay, the Nine of Wands. I like this for you. I like this for you a lot. Stand your ground. Consider that this is a week where you just have to stand your ground to hold the frequency, not to get like super woo, but like to hold the frequency, to hold the space, to keep your eye on the prize, to not be pulled out of position, not to be pulled down into a lower frequency. Nines are also very independent. So also allowing your movement, your action to be more self-initiated, to do, I want to say like to do your own thing. And also This is a card of boundaries. So boundaries, one, I feel like these are boundaries, maybe Scorpio, that you need. I'm hearing happy helper, that you're a happy helper. And this might be a week to, again, let people have it, leave them to their own devices. Like, they're going to be fine. Because it almost feels like I see you like sticking your head like out of your boundary or out of alignment to go like, hey, you should try this, or hey, you should do that, when it's like not necessary. So you might need to set some boundaries or consider setting some boundaries this week with the ways in which you may like interfere with others or like interject advice or anything like that, when it's like you're not like really called to do it. You just have like a spirit of service, which is a beautiful thing. But to leave people to their own devices and stay like within your boundaries. Very good. Very good. This is what I have, Scorp. Hello? Oh my god, you scared me. Okay, hold on. Hold please for production. Hold on. I'm back. Pardon me. My fiance brought me a snack. I heard the little ring. It's like someone's at the front door. I'm like, is it the mailman or is it my husband? And luckily it was my husband with a bunch of snacks for me, which I'm going to eat directly after this live stream. Okay, so we have left Saggy, Capricorn, Aqua, Pisces. I'm coming for you. Okay. Let's see, Saggy. What was your... So, Sagittarius, your monthly reading is titled Spiritual Rambo. So, you're a bit of a heavy hitter this month, we'd say. See that Dust Devil card peeking out in the split as well. Oh, you got two. Okay. Oh, I love this for you. Oh my god. Oh, I love this. Okay. One, Sagittarius, I want to say you have card number 18. That's the moon card of the major arcana. It says Eyes of the Eagle, rising above the fray. I said, ooh, just a little bit, because as a Sagittarius, you were ruled by Jupiter. In mythos, Jupiter has the eagle as one of its sacral signs and totems. So one, you feel really in alignment with your ruling planet and with your energies, right? So you feel very much like at home in yourself. You also have card number 47, so that breaks us to 12 again, so a lot of 12s here. 12 in the major arcana links us up to Pisces. Pisces is traditionally also ruled by Jupiter, yes. Skybridge, possibility for union. Now, this is an interesting message to come through, and don't take it if it's not yours. There's 111 on the timer that we've been on here. One, I wonder if there is an opportunity for, I want to say, perhaps like a deity relationship, just because you're so in alignment with this Jupiter energy. That could be Jupiter as the planet, that could be the Roman god Jupiter, that could be the Greek equivalent of Zeus perhaps, or another deity or spirit perhaps that is associated with Jupiter or with the sacred eagle. Skybridge, possibility for union. This feels like a spiritual partnership that is potentially being extended to you this week. Of course, with the magnifying glass, take a closer look at it. Something that I like to do, something I like to do if and when there are spiritual relationships presented to me is I like to sit down and give them an interview, right? What are you here for? What would you like from me? What do you expect from me? Those kind of things. Like, I like to flesh out some of the details because I don't like surprises. And I'm also just like a very thorough practitioner in that way. But that's what I feel like this is. Rising above the fray and like the bridge, that also makes me feel like there is sort of similar to Scorpio. There is like a passageway or like a form of safe passage that's being presented to you this week. I'm hearing hop, skip, and jump. To almost like hop over some kind of blockage and then kind of like skip, I'm hearing do-si-do, skip on through to like the other side. But I'm seeing it like hand in hand with this spiritual energy. This could also, for some of you, be a significant ancestor that had Jupiter placements, or again, like really like birds or eagles in some way. This also very much feels like a camera lens. So photography might be significant, but as these hang down, there's also kind of like a monocle, like a little Peanut Man monocle, that feels significant. The oak tree. So this might be an ancestor. Oh, speaking of, just because it's so synchronistic, I just opened a new service that's its ancestral readings that explore the themes, the personalities, and also the spiritual giftings on both sides of your family, the maternal and the paternal side, how they're being channeled through you as the conduit, and kind of like what is like the destiny path for those energies, for those giftings to be expressed in the future through both sides of your family and you. And I titled it The Wild Oak. So if you are interested in like ancestor gift plus gift identification readings with like a little bit of mediumship sprinkled in, you might be interested in the Wild Oak readings. All of my personal readings, by the way, are 25% off for Patreon members. So that's just another benefit of membership. But here we have the Acorn and the Wild Oak. Power, courage, and strength. There is a spiritual energy or force, whether it's through a deity, the big abundant universe, a specific ancestor that is reaching through in order to lend you more strength and power, as well as a bit of cleverness is what I'm picking up here as well, in order to literally, I'm hearing supersede, just like transcend, supersede, skip over some kind of blockage that's like consistently being put in your way. I'm almost seeing like a little bridge that like you're trying to walk over and someone keeps pulling like a plank out from it. It's so annoying, like the way it's coming through. And so this energy is just like, fine, we won't take that bridge, and like picks you up and puts you on like the sky bridge, and you walk over that way and you like end up on the other side. So interesting to me. There's also something here, just with all these branches, about like, and Jupiter's such an intelligent planet, like the expansion of like the crown, awareness. So if it feels, I don't know, if you've been feeling kind of froggy and kind of foggy, like things are just do not compute, or you're like, do I gotta start doing puzzles? Like, what's going on with my brain? It feels like the mental faculties are going to start to strengthen for you. Yeah. Oh, wow, it's such a fucking exciting time to be a fucking Sagittarius. I feel like I was in this energy when I did your monthly reading too. It was like, oh my God, no way. Like, there's a really exciting energy. All right, let's see. Hi. What are you doing, Saggy? 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 of Wands. You're going. You are communicating with spirit. You are communicating with yourself. Oh my God, I feel so much dense energy coming up all of a sudden. Excuse me. You are going. The 8 of Wands is a card of rapid communication. It is a card of fierce movement that cannot be stopped. It cannot be stopped until you hit the 9, right? And then you finally land in your destination. You're like, whoa, let me take a minute now. Wow, how exciting. Also, there's something about the fruits here that are significant. Raspberries maybe are significant for you, the fruit of the loom. It kind of feels, honestly, it kind of feels a little bit like a timeline hop. There's also these wands, they weave, they stitch in and out of each other. So there might be something about crochet or like weaving that's significant here for you as well. Kind of feels like timelines, like the threads of fate are like kind of being rewoven for you in like a really beautiful way. Sort of like, what are you saying? Blessed twine? Blessed twine is what I'm hearing. There also might be something here about knot magic. K-N-O-T, knot magic, that's significant. Hi, how are you? Hi, Sheila. Knot magic, that's significant for you as well. Okay. What are we avoiding this week, Sag? Oh, the Hermit. Yeah, you were not meant to be hidden. You were meant to be seen. I'm hearing, oh my God, what is this energy? Do you want to see a magic trick? That's what I'm hearing. Do you want to see a magic trick? But it's like this voice of like the kind of like the great and powerful Oz, and it feels like it's speaking out to like other people who may be observing you, Sagittarius. And then I see them like almost, it's so funny as a Hermit, I almost see them taking you like this lantern again, like picking you up and like putting you on the other side. So if there has been a person, if there hasn't even been like a spirit, like a principality that's like kind of come before you, that's like gotten in your way, that's like interfered with you, it seems to have like ticked off who or whatever the sacred eagle represents, whether it's a deity or whether it's an ancestor or the big benevolent universe. And it's kind of something like, I don't know, like if you constantly are challenging Sagittarius's power, well, let's see how your power does against me. That's what that feels like to me. So one, something that you should not be doing is hiding, burying yourself into a book. This is definitely a week about action. It's about momentum, active spiritual practice, literally by way of potentially not magic, communicating a lot about how you're moving forward. It's like creating, even the timeline, it's like creating the narrative, creating like the mythos around yourself, around your success. That's what I want to say. Hi, how are you? Hopefully when the stream is done, we'll be able to go back and do timestamps for everyone. And then what are we avoiding here? The 10 of Swords. The 10 of Swords on your way out the door. I want to say, this is not an elegant way to say this, Sagittarius, I recognize, but it's how it wants to come through. It's sort of like a don't screw anyone over on your way out the door. It's almost like don't create attachments, don't create karma, I don't know if you believe in karma, don't create attachments, don't create karma, don't create like threads with other people like as you're leaving. And also like I don't feel like you're gonna, I don't want to say self-sabotage yourself because I don't feel like you're going to, but I almost want to say like talk yourself out of it. Don't talk yourself out of like this new mythos around yourself. Don't talk yourself out of success. Don't talk yourself out of like the idea that you could have the best possible life that you could have. And also like don't feel like you have to like get the one final word in like on your way out the door. Just leave people where they are. The universe, God is showing them a magic trick. And you don't need to say anything. Like you don't need to say anything more than like abracadabra. And like that's it. That's it. Similar to Scorpio, it's like there's bigger fish to fry. So don't feel like you got to get like that one last word in or like I told you so. You don't need any of that. You don't need any of that. That doesn't matter because that's not where you're going. So that's not where we need to be focusing on. Very good. Very good, Saggy. I'm hearing like, yeah, it's like a don't add insult to injury. Because I think some people might be like truly humbled, honestly. They're also showing me Annie. Is that name significant for you? But the original Annie with like Daddy Warbucks. And I'm hearing it's a hard knock life for us. But then they're showing me like Daddy Warbucks and like little Annie and like her little red dress. Maybe you have a red dress or you're seeing red dresses or there's a red dress that you like or something. I'm also hearing oh my God, is this an 80s song? Lady in Red. And they're also showing me Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. But when they're at the end of the movie, when they're actually at the reunion and they're like kind of standing up to the bullies. But like the little orphan Annie, when she's like, and she's standing next to Daddy Warbucks, like, I did it. I got out of the orphanage. That's like you, I want to say. That's you right now. So again, it's like, your life will tell the tale. And look what's on the split. Net catcher. Preparations come to fruition. And then you have the sky bridge. Possibility for union again. Which is so funny because I'm thinking about like eagles and like those birds of prey, how oftentimes they literally pluck fish like right out of the water. And there's all those like fishing nets right there. There's something special is going on for Sagittarius, no matter where I'm tapping into you, no matter what platform we are reading on, no matter what day. Like I did, is it the 5th? I did your monthly reading for January. I did it over a week ago. This energy's coming back around. You can't fuck with Sag this week. Like, sorry. Go with someone else. But not Sag, because they're not having it. Yes? Yes. I love that for you. I love to see my people ring victorious. So, who do we have next? We have Capricorn. Okay, sassy. Shuffle my deck more. Okay, not like that, like this. Okay, so you're feeling a little bossy. You know what you want this week. All right. You can watch your tone with me, but but it's great to see you. Know thyself. That's nice. A truck is passing by Capricorn and it says fast delivery. What's on your split? Lost in space, needing direction. So maybe you feel like other people need direction, not you. Maybe other people do. You also have many masks, the authentic self on the split. I'll keep shuffling. But this is what you have. So maybe there's something this week about people being drawn to you because you're very much like in your identity, in your authenticity. And maybe other people are feeling a little inauthentic. They're feeling like they have to mask, feeling kind of disingenuous. I'm also hearing Beverly Hills, what a thrill. So I don't know if you're kind of like Florence Neffler, like in that movie or something. I don't know. I'm also, Capricorn, I'm kind of getting this feeling here about how like you know thyself, but you're also like, you're figuring out some other areas of your life. I wonder if people are giving you like unsolicited advice about what you should be doing or who you should be being, but it's like from people that are not even like authentic in and of themselves, like people that are very disingenuous, but they're not even self-aware enough to know that they're not. A guy is, a full-grown man is just riding a scooter down the street and he has like a dinosaur helmet on. So take that for what you will. But it's like they're showing me like people that are just not even self-aware enough to know that they don't even know themselves. So it's kind of like comical that they're giving like you advice about what to do because they don't even like where they are. And they don't even realize that they don't like it, but you can tell they don't like it by just how they act or how they behave or like the fact that they're always miserable, like something like that. You're like, I know myself. Maybe I don't have everything else figured out, but like I know myself. So maybe that's where you're getting like a, well, let me tell you what to do then, because maybe you need a piece of advice. So maybe that's little retaliation from Capricorn. Let's see what else is coming out. The Wall. That feels like very Game of Thrones, like the Northmen, like the Wall. 56 obstacles. That breaks us down to what? 11, a master number. You're mastering how to like, it feels like G.I. Jane. And she's like, I want to go through like the rest of the guys. Like, it feels like you are mastering how to like jump boxes or like overcome these walls. What else did you have? Lost in, it came out again. It came out again. Lost in space, needing direction. Card number 36. That breaks us down to 9. So we have 11 and 9. 9, 11. Here, much like the Two of Wands, she's holding like the whole world in her hand. And she's in kind of her spiritual body here with all of these feathers everywhere. So I also wonder if you're trying to find like a happy medium, Cap, between how to utilize like your spiritual giftings or your purpose like in the material world. And I'm hearing material, like that Madonna song. You're like, what's the happy medium? How do I use my spiritual gifts to bring me in the abundance that I want? How do I use my spiritual purpose in the way that the world is set up and organized? Like, and now that I'm looking at this world and here, it almost looks like it's how do I fit something that's so big into like an aperture that's like so small. So it's interesting. On like one hand, I feel like this is you having to like, I don't know, climb up through like this tiny hole in order to like come and like reach this big new world. But then also figure out like how to bring this big world like in through like this small hole and like back into the material, right? So there's like a sizing issue here. You're like, I either have to like take some things out of like this big magical world so that way it fits into the material. It's like something like that. So I feel like the direction, it's not so much of like, I'm lost, I don't know who I am. But it's more of like how do I mold this so that way it fits in both realms? Does that make sense? You also have lavender. tranquility, kindness, and self-care. This is really beautiful. It also looks like there is a selenite, a rose quartz, an amethyst, and perhaps an aquamarine. It's not look like a lapis lazuli, but like an aquamarine stone. These might be significant crystals that might be assisting you. Lavender bath salts, lavender essential oils, working with the plant spirit of lavender might be really helpful for you. You feel, this energy feels very mechanical, like you're in your architectural mechanical brain. And there's something about maybe easing back into the emotional body. It's almost like, that's so funny, I'm hearing Crisco, that it almost like it acts as Crisco, and it like helps you like shimmy through, or it helps like shimmy like the square peg in the round hole, or it helps you like shimmy in and out. Like there's something about that. It's like we need more peace and we need more grease is what I want to say. It's actually, you don't have to take anything out of like this big, beautiful spiritual world. You don't have to make yourself bigger. You don't have to make that world smaller. It's just about peace and grease. So what do we need to do this week, Capricorn? We have to die. It's like the death card is not just about cycles, it's about the ego. Typically, when we look at like a Rider-Waite-Smith version of the death, he's on a horse, there's people in front of him, there's that big sun rising in the back. What is the sun in symbol and archetype? It's the ego, it's identity, right? And so there is an aspect, there is a version of yourself that is kind of hard, that is a bit mechanical, that wants to be sacrificed and reintegrated so that way a softer, more flexible, more fluid, or emotionally sensitive part of you, essentially the goat, needs to be reabsorbed so that way like the fish can kind of come forward, because the fish can kind of shimmy in and out of both worlds, right? Yeah, almost like a little bit like your opposite sign, which is Cancer, right? That's the cosmic crab. The crab can float around in the water. It can also scurry across the sand, like no problem, right? And even in like the moon card, which represents the subconscious, right? Right before we tap into what the sun, new identity, new consciousness, there's usually some kind of crustacean, like a lobster or a crawfish, that is like crawling out of the primordial ooze, the primordial sea, and towards evolution, right? And so something that is important for you to do this week is to allow yourself permission to like take on a new identity of sorts. What if you lived life a little bit different? If you allowed this old aspect of yourself to, there's even water behind him, to kind of be cast back out to sea, to be reabsorbed into a new cap, a new version of you. Because maybe that's it. Maybe it's not the plan. Maybe it's not the dream. Maybe it's not your giftings. Like maybe it's about the identity you've taken on that needs to shift. Nothing, maybe like, what if that's the only part of the plan that needs to shift and evolve? Is how you see yourself, how you position yourself in the map in your mind. What are we avoiding this week? What should we avoid this week, Capricorn? Yeah. The Knight of Wands. So impulsive action, brutishness is what I want to say. Being a brute, being too, what's the word I want to use? Spontaneous is not the word I want to use. Hold for production. Let my brain cells try to connect. Confrontational as well as what's coming through here. I don't like that. I'm looking at his big baton, and you know what I'm hearing? I'll grind your bones to make my bread. It's like that foo-fo-fum energy. So something to avoid this week is being too impulsive. Thank you. That's the word I wanted. Being too impulsive, being too reactionary, being kind of brutish or bullyish, or trying to like force things into shape. It cannot be forced. It has to be fluid. You need peace and you need grease. Force is not going to do it. You'll just end up over kneading the dough, and you'll end up with like a hard rock that pops out of your oven. Does that make sense? Yeah. You cannot force things into flow this week. It's not how it wants to. It's not how it wants to go. And what are we considering this week? What is something to consider? You have two. Oh, look, you have Jupiter coming out. 5, 6, we have the 7 of Wands. And we have the Emperor, which in this deck is Jupiter. Something worth considering this week, Capricorn, is that if there is a force to be reckoned with, if there is a battle to wage, it's with the powers and the authorities within you and not necessarily those without you. It's not the universal laws of the universe you have to tangle with. It's the laws and the rules that you've imposed upon yourself that need to be tangled with. That is it. It's not the identity that other people won't afford you or won't lend to you. It's the identity you won't give to yourself because you're maybe potentially feeling like you have to prove an old paradigm or prove an old identity right before you're allowed to release it and evolve into the next. Maybe you could, I don't know, give yourself an exception or an exemption from that rule. That feels significant here. We have the 4 of Wands. Yeah. Yeah. Again, there's something, it's like a tug of war. There's something emotionally attached to this old identity, like that version, almost like an older version of you had to struggle and suffer so much that like the ego doesn't want to feel like it was all for nothing. So that version of yourself has to be the one to succeed or figure out something, overcome the blockage. But and that's totally normal. It makes perfect sense to me. But the version of you that actually does overcome that blockage, that does kind of make it, that does whatever, it's not that version of you. It's the softer, more malleable version of you that's, again, constructed more on like peace and grease and is operating more in your watery element than it is in your earthy element. Yeah, Page of Cups. Page of Cups at the bottom. And I think you'll do it. I think there's just like a little bubble of breathing room that's needed. So I would almost, my suggestion would be to like give yourself a day off. A day off from trying, a day off from worrying, a day off from trying to figure it out. And I think in that day, some breathing room bubbles up and you go, what am I doing this for? This is silly. I'm going to allow myself to tap into like a different identity. I'm going to allow myself to release the reins a little bit and allow that peace and grease to come on in. And then again, it's like you wiggle right on through. You wiggle right on through. What's that song? Break on through? Break on through to the other side. You break on through to the other side. All right, just 2 more. Just 2 more. Aquarius. Pisces. Aquarius. What's her name? They're showing me Harriet the Spy Aquarius. But not Harriet. Rosie O'Donnell, who plays her nanny. What is her name? Harriet the Spy. Rosie O'Donnell. Is it like Gully? Gully. That's her name. Hi. Hi, it's so good to see you. Gully is her name. And Harriet the Spy. Rosie O'Donnell plays Golly or Gully, Harriet's nanny. That's coming through. And specifically, so random, the scene where I guess she's trying to get Harriet to go to bed and it's just a sing-songy voice. She's like, Harriet, you need to ba 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 ba, you need to ba 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 ba. I haven't watched a movie in years. Ba ba ba, Harriet. I think her parents, it's all coming back to me now, like a Celine Dion song. Harriet's parents are like at a big fancy party. She's home and Gully's watching her. And I think Gully is like imitating her parents. Harriet, we're eating champagne and caviar. Harriet. That's what that is. Why is that coming through, Aquarius? Maybe you just watched that movie. So, oh my God. So in that movie, okay, Harriet's parents, they are like quite affluent and they're busy and they're like, so that's why she has this like fancy nanny, right? So there might be something here around neglect, feeling neglected by maybe your parents or by the people close to you. Even in some instances, like maybe spiritually feeling like neglected by spirit or not fully like held or supported in some way. But then there's like your Gully, there's like your nanny that's like coming in. It doesn't feel like they're going out. It feels like there's one coming in. I guess it's kind of like a spiritual babysitter, but it's like a nanny of sorts. What was your title to your January monthly reading? The Gale. Maybe their name is Gale? Oh, okay. So we have card number 61 that breaks down to 7. 7s are often a number of like a little bit of resistance. 7s and 5s are very, very similar. We have to get through conflict in the 5. We have to get through the hump, get over the hump on 7s are like Wednesdays. We have to get over the hump to get through to the 8, because the 8 is where the cycle and the flow of energy returns back and forth, back and forth. So here we have whale song resonating. 1, jellyfish might be significant for you, or mushrooms. Whales are also very symbolic of like the great mother energies, great nurturers. So there might be something about, again, a feminine energy or spirit guide or ancestor, something that's coming forward that's acting as like, now I'm thinking about like nurse sharks, acting as like a nanny of sorts, or almost like a midwife, I kind of want to say, in helping you get, I want to say from point A to point B, Aquarius, but there's also something about like some emotional healing around neglect, or being forgotten about or being left behind. Again, either, and maybe it mirrors and mimics, maybe by, again, parents, people that are close to you, or people that you wish would prioritize you. Maybe you feel like that mirrors or mimics your spiritual experience as well. Again, like spirit maybe not showing up for you in the way that like you would prefer. There's also a feeling of protection here, this nanny gully type of energy. I'm also seeing like Gullah Gullah Island. So I guess like just the inner child very much is like being tended to this week. She feels like she is in a protective bubble. It also feels like she can't really hear what's going on like outside of the bubble as well. So in that aspect, Aquarius, I feel like maybe your spiritual channel might be quiet this week when it comes to like the collective or like the outside world. If you're someone who receives downloads or transmissions about that, the messages that come through may be like specifically just for you and not like for everyone else this week. Again, there's something significant about these jellyfish as well. And I do feel like you're being, again, carried and kind of traveled, but in that, it's like you're being carried in like a kangaroo pouch or like with this nanny, and getting this like counseling or getting this emotional healing, in regards to like abandonment. It's almost like my parents should be here taking me. Why are you here taking me? Moth, always a sign and a symbol of spiritual gnosis and expansion and education coming in. And I always say that moths and butterflies, they go through the same like chrysalis developmental process, but moths don't get nearly the amount of like credit or excitement around them as butterflies, right? Ooh, it's a butterfly, how pretty. And people are like, oh, it's a moth. Maybe not you, but a lot of people are like that. So I often interpret like the butterfly as kind of like physical evidence of transformation that other people can see and celebrate, whereas the moth is more of the unacknowledged transformation that happens behind the scenes or underneath the surface that other people like don't know is occurring. They get to see you pop out as like this big whale or this beautiful butterfly, right? A few days, weeks, or months from now, but they don't like know everything else that's going on behind the scenes, right? Mystery, concealment, illusion. So it also feels like, again, in this protective bubble, you're intentionally being kind of cloaked or hidden from like the environment. Even like the way that you're traveling, there's a jellyfish, but there isn't a lot like in the environment. So there's something about you kind of being taken or transferred or transported to like the next destination, but like quietly, so you can't be interfered with, pestered, bothered. No one can kind of come in and burst your bubble. And again, there are a lot of eyes. There are a lot of eyes around you. I also think this silence is intended to help you tune your intuitive channel, like, I don't know, back to you. You might be someone that's like so sensitive. You're plugged into so many people. You're plugged into so many downloads. You're plugged into so much collective energy that sometimes you might not know like what's for you and what's for other people. or like, I'm hearing the word hijacked. Like sometimes like your psychic channel might get like hijacked sometimes, again, by other people's emotions and energies, their guides communicating to you, collective messages, like stuff like that, that it's like, no, let's just get your channel settled. Your messages for you, from us, not tapped into anything else, like just you. So let's see what you're doing this week. 2 cards. We have the 10 of Cups. Okay. And then we have the 9 of Swords. So you're allowing your spiritual family, you're allowing this like nannying type of energy to come in and help you heal some of your overthinking, some of your fears, some of your anxieties, especially stuff that's been existent since childhood. What if they leave me? What if no one comes back for me? What if they don't love me? What if I get in trouble? What about this? What about that? It's a lot of these like what ifs type of things that feels like they want to come in to be healed. Even like insecurities. What if I'm not perfect? What if this? What if that? What if they leave me behind? A lot of long-standing fears and illusions, and it's like the boogeyman is being healed and dealt with this week. What are you avoiding? Judgment, and then the Ace of Wands, right? So making any like permanent decisions or judgments, I wouldn't be doing this week. The Ace of Wands is also like a spark of new life. So I feel like because it's present, you might get like some of the other signs, like you might get like an idea and you're like, wow, I want to run with the horses with that idea. Yeah, let's hit it right now. And the energy's like, no. No, you're not going to make any final judgments. We're not going to start really anything new. We're not off with the races this week. We're in the water. You're the water bearer. Okay, well, let's get in the water, right? Let's get in your bubble. We're going to move you, because I wonder if sometimes like you're getting these, I don't know, like impulsive downloads, or like I should do this, or I should follow this idea or this whimsy. And it's like maybe not for you. Like I feels like your tuner is so strong that like you might pick up on like divinely inspired ideas for other people. And they're like not even for you. It's like you're just like tapped into someone else's phone line. Like when you, like in the 90s or the early 2000s, where it's like you'd be talking and then all of a sudden it's like you hear the neighbor down the street and you're like, what do you mean he's sleeping with the babysitter? What's going on? And then all of a sudden you hear your friend again and you're like, girl, I think my wires just got crossed. There's sort of that energy here. Or you might be sometimes picking up on like collective movements and you think that they're personal movements, right? So it almost feels like until this gets, I don't know, kind of organized for you. And there might even be something about, because of some of these childhood fears, that sometimes your channel might lean slightly more like pessimistic or challenging. And maybe that's like not the messages that are actually like coming through to you, but they're being kind of redirected in a more like pessimistic route or something like that. So this week, you're asked to avoid making any final judgments about people, places, and things, even especially about yourself. Also, to not like overcommit or like throw yourself into something new. Judgment, and with the Ace of Wands here, this like big ass baton, I also feel like it's like calling judgment on like other people as well. Like there's a lot that's like in flux right now. It also feels like there's a lot of like issues or people in the experience or the environment that like don't, I'm hearing pish posh, like they won't fully matter like 5 years from now, 5 weeks from now. And also like exerting, I almost want to say like your own judgment, especially if you're like a practitioner of sorts, exerting like your own judgment. It's like on other people, like it's best to just be reserved right now. It's like very much like, hey, Aqua, stay in your own lane, do your own thing, receive your nannying, like do that. Do that. Don't focus on other people and what they're doing. We got to focus on you and what you're doing right now. And what's something to consider this week? We have the 2 of Swords. So the 2 of Swords is my little priestess card. She directly drops down from the major 2, which is the High Priestess. So something to consider is maybe your intuition, your discernment, your spiritual giftings, maybe they need a little bit of refinement or just a tune-up. Like they're showing me the Tin Man, and maybe they just need a little oil. They just need a little, you wipe some of the rust off, right? That's something to consider. Another thing, especially with the Judgment and the Ace of Wands, maybe it's worth considering that we don't have all of the information in order for you to make a full decision, right? Or a final decision about what happened in the past, about what will happen in the future, about what's happening right now, about what someone else's motives are, right? Like maybe we don't have all of the information. Maybe we're tapped into a lot, but like we're not sure what's ours, what's not. Maybe again, it's a good week to like maybe tune some stuff out. I don't want you to be ignorant to the world around you by any stretch of imagination, but maybe, again, it's a good week to stay in our own lanes. Consider that, you know, we don't always know what we don't know. We don't have all of the information. We don't have all of the answers. It's better to kind of sit and be patient, to continue to refine and tune ourselves as a spiritual instrument, work on our discernment, right? Separate what is the spirit, what is my emotion, what is solid ground, like kind of move into, again, like more of like that mentee space might be really beneficial for you. And another sign, yeah, we have the Two of Pentacles. Small time, day-to-day, boring as shit, mundane, chop wood, carry water type of energy. There was another sign, I don't remember whose, but we were saying this looked a little bit like an eye, sort of like a nazar that you would use for the evil eye, but this one has flowers in it, so it's beautiful. Similar to that like pessimistic channel we were talking about before. There might be something helpful this week in considering that maybe how you view the world is, you know, a little scathed. It's a little pessimistic. It's a little skewed because of some stuff that you've been through. It's valid. But maybe we could fine tune that as well into looking at the possibilities of life, all of the beauty that is still here and that can be built and seeded and continue to bloom. Yes? Yes. And again, I don't remember the specifics of your monthly reading now, as I kind of black out when I do them. But it was called the Gale, which is not the same thing as a gust, but gales specifically come off of like the winds from the water. So again, like the water is significant, especially for you as the water bearer. And then last, but never, ever, 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 ever least, is we have Pisces. Pisces. Are dogs significant to you, or your dog's barking? Maybe my dog dismisses me. Is the Hecate, whenever your dog's barking, as someone that like works with the Hecate, it always like brings up her energy. Or I really like any deity or spirit that's associated with dogs. Anubis, whatever it may be. Maybe that's significant for you. My spicy Pisces. Oh, don't, I hate when you throw cards around. Oh, speak of the, okay. Oh my God, let me pick this up. Covenant, Pisces, card number 7, Sacred Contracts. It's a blank one, so I forget what sign it was. Maybe it was Sagittarius. Yeah, I think it was Sagittarius. And you're both Jupiter ruled. There might be something about a potential spiritual contract that is coming in for your consideration, is how that wants to come across. Because of course you are not required to do anything you don't want to do. On the bottom of the deck, we have card number 38 that breaks down to 11, a master number. Many Mass, the authentic self. And kind of what's coming through here, Pisces, is like in Game of Thrones, how there's like the many-faced god. I wonder if like your spiritual practice or experience has kind of been like a spirit of rotating faces and identities, but like never quite finding, I don't know, like where you fit or like where your spiritual roots are. And so kind of just like oscillating on this like conveyor belt of spirituality. I wonder if there's something this week about an opportunity to like find where you could be planted, perhaps. You reconnect with the Sagittarius. Find a place where you can be planted, where you can be rooted. Now, of course, a sacred contract, that doesn't necessarily just have to be between like you and a deity or anything like that. Marriage is a sacred contract, right? So this could obviously have to do with like a relationship that has a spiritual significance or weight to it in your reality. Having children is a spiritual contract, right? But this could also be literal and be like a deity type of energy, ancestral type of energy. Ancestor energies have been really significant in just like my collective channel And the ancestors and culture was coming through really strongly in the Patreon reading for this week ahead. So I could also see that as well. So there might be something about you being like invited into a particular practice or part of like your culture or your ancestry, maybe a deity that's associated with that, or in other ways, a relationship in the natural world that has significance to you spiritually in some way. Leaves, renewal. So funny how you talk about reconnection. Renewal, revival, progress. I like this. I like that at the top we have a dragonfly, another sacred symbol of spiritual growth. And then below here we have, but to me it always looks a little bit like a bee. So we have like practical work and progression. We also have spiritual progression as well. So we have deep roots and we have tall branches. Carnelian might be a helpful crystal for you to use this week if you like to work with crystals. There's also something about, I don't know, it's like monstera plants or like tropical plants that might be significant for you as well. I'm also looking at these leaves and they have little holes in them, which are probably like a significant plant that has those, but it's making me think of like pests. So one, you might need like a spiritual cleansing. There's also like a sacred circle, 2 sacred circles that are in here. So there might be something about who or whatever this energy that's incoming, for the potential of, and 7 is a very divine number. It's often considered to be a number of completion in spiritual spaces, that whether it's a person, a deity, an ancestor, that they're coming in to double up your protection, to help protect you from pests. It's like support, it's like backup in a way, and to help you grow both materially and spiritually, both of them. Very interesting, Pisces. Ooh, I'm hearing, ooh, just a little bit, a little bit more. Ooh, just a little bit. I know what you're looking for. Is that how that song goes? That's how it's coming through. What was your monthly reading called? Your reading was called Drying Out. I remember that. That was the first one I did this month. Drying Out. That was a good reading. That was a very satisfying reading, Pisces. You can also, if you don't want to join the Patreon, you could also rent or I guess rent. Yeah, you could rent or buy the monthly readings a la carte if you like just want the Pisces reading and you don't want the rest of them, or to like join the membership. What do we have? Star at the bottom. Got the star at the bottom. That's very much giving like fate and destiny. So I don't know what your personal astrology looks like, Pisces, but there is something kind of fated about this week. What are we doing this week for my spicy Pisces? So we have oh, I love that. Thank God. We have the 6 of Swords. So we are progressing towards smoother water. So something to consider and ask yourself this week is, does this make my life easier? Will this make my life more beautiful? Does this help my day-to-day? Is this spiritually peaceful and uplifting for me, right? If it doesn't, who it is, if what it is does not lead you to more harmony, more peace, more flow, more progress, it's not for you. Not for you. There's also, in the middle here, this looks like corn to me. Like blue corn, maize, that might be significant as well. What are we avoiding this week, Pisces? A couple things. The Knight of Cups. Oh. The Emperor. Oh, and the King of Wands. Okay. Okay, so fire signs, maybe? That's so interesting. Look at how they're looking at this Knight of Cups, too. I don't like this. One, there's a few things that come through here. On one hand, I feel like you're sort of this Knight of Cups, and there's sort of something here of like, hey, like, don't put yourself on the chopping block, or like, don't offer something that's valuable to you. It's a pearls to swine message, but like especially to people that have like way more than you do as a means to like impress them. So again, whether this is like a spiritual energy, an ancestor, a person coming in, I almost want to say like, don't be so keen to sign the sacred covenant that you end up like signing over the farm. But also don't feel like you have to, I don't know, like empty your coffers or like just give more than you have or more than you should, because you're intimidated or you're trying to impress like whoever these people are. The Emperor is an Aries energy. It's Martian. The King of Wands, depending on which modalities you use, can also be seen as like an Aries energy or a Leo energy. So those might be energies that maybe you want to avoid perhaps this week. Maybe. Yeah, I don't really like these energies, Pisces, and I don't like how they're looking at this Knight of Cups. So again, I wouldn't be making too many invitations or overextending yourself for people, places, and things that already have like way more than you. Like there are some things like you can't like afford to lose that for other people it's like it's nothing for them. So be mindful of equal energy exchanges and like appropriate energy exchanges. I also feel like there's something about like this King of Pentacles. I called him the King of Wands. I don't know why I did that. He's clearly the King of Pentacles, so excuse me. It almost feels like he's about to throw this pentacle like into your cup, but it almost feels like a carnival game. Almost like, I don't know why Game of Thrones is coming through. I haven't seen that. I used to watch that show a lot, but I haven't watched it in years at this point. But it's coming through a lot, and it reminds me of when King Joffrey gets married to Marjorie and he has like the small folk come and he is like throwing money at them and he's getting them to do stuff that's just like inappropriate. Like it's that kind of thing, like dance for me. Like it's that type of energy. And the Emperor here, he has like this shield. So like there's something about like, also do avoid people that make you want to like sing for your supper is what I want to say, or prove yourself or jump through hoops just for like their own entertainment when they don't have any interest in actually sharing any of their power or their resources or like their abundance with you. Also with like whatever writing is on the shield, avoid trying to like placate or play to people that in some way, shape, or form, whether it's verbal, whether it's body language, like, but have in some way already communicated that like they're not interested in you, or like you are not what they're looking for, or like whatever. It's like a very much of like, they somehow communicate like a you can't sit here type of energy. Don't try to sit there. There's also something as well with the Six of Swords energy, and again, like moving into like calmer waters, and this Knight of Cups, he is on a horse, so like he is traveling, he, you know, transportation, and he travels also like over a small river, like over water, but he's looking back, right? So I also, a little bit like Lot's wife, you're also encouraged this week to avoid like looking back on like the old authority figures or people that you felt rejected by, old partners. Like don't slow yourself down on your route just to see if someone will finally meet you halfway or do right by you, like when you're already on your way out the door. Just like make your way out the door. Sometimes, Pisces, justice doesn't come in the places or from the people where and who we were wronged by. Justice only appears when we enter into the new space where the coast is clear. And something to consider this week. Oh, three cards, Pisces. What's on the bottom? The Ten of Cups is on the bottom. Okay, so we have Temperance. I like this. We have the Hangman. That's you. And then we have the Ten of Wands. Okay, so I want to say with Temperance and the Hangman, I want to say that the weight or the stagnation, it's actually not punishment. It's trying to give like you an opportunity, because see how she's pouring from one vessel into the other. It feels like there's something about, again, like head over feet, like wanting energy to like circulate, I don't know, from the feet back into the crown, the root back into the crown back into the root. Think about circulating emotions, circulating energies. They get stuck somewhere, right? Just like how he's about to get himself stuck here. Or maybe how you've gotten yourself stuck in, again, unequal relationships spiritually or literally in the past, right? The 10 of Wands, it is a card of success. It is a card of victory. This is the we made it. It's just been hard as hell to get to the finish line. Consider that you have already made it in a lot of ways to the finish line. The fact that these energies are coming forward, the fact that the 6 of Swords is here, the fact that renewal, your leaves are coming back. You may even have like house plants that all of a sudden are starting to like regenerate. Like there are signs of life around you that it is restoring, like regardless of the seasons outside. It's worth considering that like you've already done the bulk of the hard work, and this time and the stagnation hasn't been punishment, but instead an opportunity for you to break through some blockages. So I'm back. Okay, I'm paused. And now I'm back. It's silenced, unknown call. So interesting. So interesting. Yeah, so consider it wasn't punishment. It was a time for you to heal and break through some blockages, to get some stuck energy moving and grooving again, that you actually have already made it through, like your hardest finish line thus far. And now it's really just about almost like you pour in enough water that then you start to like flow. I feel like, and there's that 10 of Cups. I think I'm gonna do one more here for my Pisces. And then we have the 2 of Swords. It's like there's 2 trains of thought that like you can take with this. And Temperance, like it really comes forward as like a healer here. Also, the 2 vessels that they're using, they're different. That's interesting to me. Also, something to consider is that the best parts of the old journey, of your old cycle, of your old timeline, the best parts, the wisdom, the magic, that part can come with you. Just like not the people, just not the vessel, right? How you used to hold energy in your body, how you used to move through the world, even the people that you used to have around you, they can't come into the new cycle. That can't come into the new cycle. But the new vessel, the new way you hold and navigate energy, the new contracts, the new relationships, the new spirits, the new people, they can all come with you. That's the difference that I want to say. And consider that as you continue to go forth and pursue your 10 of Cups, because you're almost there. Yeah. So this is what I have. I hope that, hi, how are you? I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Again, your full monthly readings for the first half of January are available on Patreon in our community. I have a new ancestor reading that is available. Patreon members get 25% off all personal readings. I just put up the monthly reading, or the weekly reading rather, up on Patreon for the week ahead. Thank you for being here. I haven't done a live stream on YouTube in literally years, but it was so nice to be here and to see you guys. If anyone is feeling frisky and wants to timestamp the signs for your friends and neighbors in the comments section, I would absolutely adore you for that. Thank you so much. But it's been a privilege to sit here and hold space for you and to read this energy. Thank you for spending this time with me. I really hope this was positive and productive and fun for you. I love you so much, and I will see you next time.